Welcome back, everyone, to the agency. Yeah, we're about ready to kick off episode 2, but I wanted to do a quick recap of episode 1 for anyone who was not able to make it. Um, our group of investigators, led by their fearless leader, Boss, um, embarked on let's say, a personal help mission of one Jacinta Otranto, who was describing some very weird goings on in her house. After some investigation, the group found that there was a poltergeist that was actually helping protect Jacinta and her children from her husband, Albert, her new husband, Albert. Albert has been MIA for a few days on business. Jacinta is now staying with friends. And after some heartfelt moments between Varin and Sarah, um, the group has gone home for the day. And when we start here in a second, it's going to be tomorrow. It will be a new day. So let's go ahead and kick things off and just dive right in. So here we are, guys. It is the next day, and you are all in your strange cellar basement office that's kind of dank and a little humid, that like cold humidity. Um, Torchlights turn on automatically when you guys walk down those stairs that seem to go on for longer than they should. And yeah, your desks are still there. Paperwork piled up on desks, except for Varen's. Varen's desk is spick and span. It's true. It all got pushed to Varen's.
They go in, and it's the circle of life.
We are apparently. Oh, never mind.
Yep,
Sorry.
I saw it. I was working on it.
That's fine.
Mm. Well. Everyone gets enough sleep. Is everyone doing well?
Oh,
I'll fix it. Keep going, guys.
Mhm.
yep.
Well, so are we going to be searching out for Albert then?
We just got in. I'm going to open up like a big brown sack that I have, take out a cruller, close it, throw the bag over to Crenbris.
We have at least 48 more minutes of downtime.
I fail to see where there is downtime where there is someone who is causing harm on the loose.
Did you sleep last night?
Absolutely.
How come
8
you weren't
hours.
getting them last night? You got to rest. You got to recharge.
And what did you do
You're a
all night
crawler.
then?
I was out gathering information.
And what did you learn?
I learned that I want some crawlers and coffee. Coffee! I'll yell.
When I hear Dusky yell coffee, I open up my door and I walk out because I realize that they're all here and I've given them a few minutes to have some non-boss time and hang out. I come out. Well, okay. What is all this yelling about? We have plenty of coffee in the office here. We always have. We have a magical coffee thing, for goodness sake.
I know, I was just telling it what to do.
Oh, it responds a little bit better if you speak nicely to it.
Yeah, but then I got to walk over there for it to hear me.
Yeah,
Varn
but it
walks over
likes
to the,
it.
sorry. Varn walks over to the graphic and picks it up very, very gingerly and says, "Would you be able to give me some tea?"
And like it comes up, it's the perfect temperature, It's exactly the temperature you like it at, and you almost think that the carafe like jiggles a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Pours it into a cup and they take it back to their desk.
I think you come back to the desk and it looks like Sarah's just been watering plants, but literally there's a stack of papers on the side of your desk that are done. But it just looks like they've been watering plants the entire time.
Varn takes the stack of papers and puts it in the outbox. These ones are done. They're going out.
They're going out. They're done. So, speaking of sleep, or lack thereof, to answer your initial inquiry, I think, given the fact that Albert is out of town, we probably should suspect a bit of travel in which to, I don't want to say apprehend, but I do want to say question aggressively, seriously, until we get the truth.
Yes. There will be an interrogation.
Now, remember, yesterday was Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. He's not supposed to be back until tomorrow, which is Thursday.
So the question becomes, do we go to him or do we wait?
Remember, that's a supposedly.
Yes.
We don't know where he is, just that he's out of town.
For work.
Right.
But you do know where he works.
Right.
I could put some of my people on it.
So
How
in
many
this
people do you have?
Which people? Which are they cleared?
They're
No,
absolutely, definitely, positively 100% not cleared.
I'm gonna need paperwork on every single one of them, please, before we can authorize them to go out.
You got it. I will, when I meet with them, make sure to collect that information for you.
I think I need some paperwork before you go, because given your history of paperwork, I just don't know that there will be as much in your outbox. Well, we can start with all of your back paperwork first.
I think Zara just did it.
Zara, we have talked about this. He has to
I don't
it on
do
his
anyone's
own.
I don't do paperwork. What are you talking about? I was taking care of the plants.
And the plants did the paperwork.
The paperwork is in my outbox.
Oh my God, whose paperwork
You just
is
get
where?
you just get big eyes, and I'm like, I just take care of the plants.
I just shake my head. I grab my clipboard. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. I'm just gonna need at least their name, their address, their phone number, their email, their previous work history, 3 references, and a background check.
Give you their names, but you know,
Their real
Their-
names.
they're CIs, so that's about all we're gonna get.
Okay, are they your CIs? Do they belong to you, or do they belong to someone else and you use
they're-
them?
I think they're just
I'm the-
people.
They're people. I don't belong to anybody. I mean, they're my contacts, but
Wow, boss.
Do
Well,
you want
okay,
some more
listen.
tea, Lauren?
We have to think of this
Yes.
in terms of
Okay,
who
great.
belongs where and who is in charge and responsible for the actions of who. And if they go and they do something wild, am I responsible for what has been unleashed on the world?
it absolutely
have
will
to
not come
tell
back on
you.
you, boss.
I always want to step outside of the situation for just a moment and say, how dare you put these CIs in a box like this? It is
Just
clear as
terrible.
day. It is clear as day that they have the same rights and freedoms as the rest of us.
Yes, the rights and freedoms to have every movement tracked and done in their paperwork, just like all
Wow.
of you.
Our,
We are
our
being
paperwork's
tracked?
done.
I actually
Wait.
take and like
Wait, we're being tracked?
I like
You know, that's one word for it. There are people I report to as well. As you know, I'm not the head boss here.
Oh, well then I'll just clear
Can
my CIs with them.
Can I please have
Oh,
some
no.
tea?
Yes,
As I
you
say
can-
it to the I'm just talking to the pot.
Oh.
Sarah has gone over to the thing
I'm
and
not
is talking to the
you.
pot to get out of this situation.
Uh,
She wants none of it.
Dusk walks over and grabs the brown bag from Crenbris and takes out a like a chocolate donut with sprinkles on it, and walks over to Sarah and hands the donut to Sarah and just says, I really like your plants. Some good work.
Oh.
Some good work on that paper.
Thanks. Thanks.
So, boss, I mean, if you want to talk to these folks, I might be able to set that up. But is this all we're doing? I mean, we got anything else in the hopper?
Well, we do have to do something, and it might be worth it to use some of your CIs. If there was just a tiny bit of paperwork on them, it would be so much easier to say yes to that, because we do have another situation that's unfolding. We know that Albert is gone somewhere with his company, and that he's supposed to be back tomorrow. There is somebody currently in the jail, which is right next door, as you all know, and I believe Kren is very familiar with the layout there, who is a pretty important person. They were a knight of the why do I just have knight of the it's Knight of the Purple Dragon?
Mhm.
I put Knight of the Purple Deserts. They're the
cool,
Knight
dude.
of the Purple Dragon deserter.
Purple sand.
That they were trying to cross into the country next door, and apparently there's still a group out roaming around that needs to be found because they're currently missing. And the weird thing about this deserter, this knight, is that they are from one of the most prominent families in this area. I'm gonna say it wrong, but the Bobolek?
Boblek, that's right.
Bobolek, yes, the Bobolek family. So that could be an important interrogation. That could be an important investigation, kind of figuring out what's going on with that situation, especially given the family's power and how they maybe kind of have some funding stuff with the agency. I don't know. You never know with this kind of thing. So that might be something worth looking into, or we can strictly pursue Albert, or we can try to find a way to do both.
First things first. And I point down to my desk, and I'm actually was describing this. I was placing all of the rest of the pastries and donuts, and it just spelled out the word "wow." Wow. Second of all, do you feel like this would take much? I mean, it could be an open and shut situation. We find the guy, get him back to where he's going, or put him in shackles and back to mission one? Or do you think it's something that will take a little longer?
Well, Grant, first of all, we have talked about playing with our food and how we shouldn't do it, but I'm going to let that go ahead and pass. However,
I don't think you did. I absolutely think that by that statement completely destroys the second half. But you go on.
oh, no. I was just allowing it to pass. You were the one who brought it back up. I mean, we could have just let it go. It could have just been done.
Oh,
But
no,
now,
I would never let it
wow. As your donuts
Unfortunately,
would
I don't
say.
have enough. I don't have enough for let it go. So
Look, to answer your second question, and you can tell like Rem's kind of gripping her clipboard a little bit, like I've got to keep control of this situation.
poke, 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 poke.
To answer your next question, it's really hard to tell with these families. It is right next door. It's not something probably that we have to do straight through, but you never know. I mean, there are people out on the loose. There's a group out on the loose. I don't know how urgent it is that we find them. And we're also dealing with a really rich family. I mean, these people have like an in-house psychic. It's just, they're just incredibly extravagant. So it's just, it is probably important.
I think by this time Sarah's gone back to their desk and has given Varan their tea, and also has split the donut with them if they want some. Did you want some?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay.
It is too sweet.
That's why it's good.
Gus walks over to the coffee urn. Says, "Coffee burned."
And it takes a second, and like If a carafe could be indignant, it's being indignant, and like it, boom, just thick, dark coffee.
Like the burnt,
Smell
like
hits
it's
you.
too hipster for the burnt coffee that it's making.
We have an understanding. I'll start writing on a piece of paper from my desk, and I'll just hold it out to Rem. If you look at it, it says CI : Cherico.
Just a little more info. An email, an old email, a school email.
We have email in this world. I didn't think so. I was like,
There are no phone numbers either. What is this phone you speak
Magic
of?
broom
I just want to see
number.
how far we're gonna go.
Yeah.
See?
Address, maybe. Address seems like a
Address.
good one.
Yeah, address
Address.
would be better than a broom number, but listen.
Room number. New canon. Everyone in Suzail has a flying broom, and they are identified by broom number.
Rem, would you like some of this donut?
Yeah, sure. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just stuff it in my mouth. Chomp on it a little.
I'm gonna need to leverage a little of the agency's assets on this one too, boss.
Oh, are you now?
If that's okay. I mean, these things, CIs, they come with a cost. I mean, I can pay out of my pocket, but that puts me at a little bit of a disadvantage in the field. I was gonna put up my magic rope, but I don't know if we've got a magic rope in the office that I could potentially use.
How much do these CIs want, and what exactly do they do?
Well, the good ones get the person and bring them to you.
Is this a good one? This curmudgeon or whatever? I can't read your handwriting because you never do
It's,
your paperwork.
Cherico. That's why I don't do it, because if you can't read it, what's the point, you know?
With a little bit of practice, I'm telling you.
The
You can do
note
great
taker would like
things.
to ask if that was Jericho or Cherico.
Cherico with a CH.
Yeah, like chicory.
I love y'all. This is so great.
This is literally Sarah's worst nightmare. Like,
Oh, it's great.
God, oh my god. Oh my
Is she very conflict averse?
Oh,
I see.
Conflict.
I see that Zara's having a little bit of trouble. So I would like to use one of my items. Let me find my item. I have something for you, Zara, and I'm going to
oh no.
I'm gonna do this
I
for
don't
you.
know if I'm gonna like this or not.
I hope you do. I hope you do. So I am going to use something called Goat Simulator. And I have a magic stuffed toy goat with a bell collar. When I place the bell collar on the toy, a life-size illusion of a goat appears somewhere random nearby. The goat looks, smells, and feels real to the touch. It has 4 HP and vanishes at 0 HP. The illusion immediately acts with the kind of chaotic mischief typical of genuine goats. Keep away from small children.
Okay, Rem, I need you to roll a d4.
A D4.
Yep.
Oh
Okay.
no.
This is going to determine where it appears.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
No.
Okay. I hope it's not in the coffee pot. 4.
Goat drown.
I rolled a
No.
4.
It appears on Kren's desk.
I fucking
Oh,
knew it.
God, it doesn't appear on mine.
Oh boy.
And yeah, feel free to describe, Rem, what kind of mischief it starts doing.
Oh my goodness. So first of all, the goat is like one of those ones with like the fluffy little beards. So it's got this
Oh,
fluffy
they're
little
so
beard going
cute.
on. I know, I thought you would like that. And so I think it's gonna start, it probably really likes donuts. And if it's on this desk where somebody has spelled out the word wow in pastries, it's probably going to start maybe doing a little bit of a stomp and a little bit of a chomp, you know, kind of hanging out in the sweets area here. I'm guessing it would go over probably, and it's just going to sniff Zara's plants. It's not actually going to eat them because I feel like that would just be too far. So it's like a good amount of mischief. Like we're going to eat the sweet things, but not the leafy things. And it's just going to kind of be like prancing around. It's going to be running in between people's feet. It's probably going to go after Dusk's tail. I think it would probably go and like move a couple pins on Varen's desk just to you know, be there, just to have its little hooves and everything.
No, that's Stacy. No, that has a no. Stop. That goes here. That goes here. Stop. That
Oh
goes
my
here.
goodness, isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen though? Oh my goodness.
Feel
And
free to
as
eat
you say that, it's the cutest thing you've ever seen. It turns and it sees the foliage inside Remrem's office, and it's beeline to the wall that is nothing but moss and leaves and everything. And it's like,
Oh
its
no.
eyes get big, and it's just like jackpot.
It's like, excuse me for a second, everyone, talk amongst yourselves about what you would like to do. And she runs into her office and slams the door. And you hear her, no, bad goat. That is a bad goat. We can't do goat.
It tries to headbutt you.
Your thought.
Listen,
I don't mean
you've
to,
got to be reasonable.
I don't
Dusk,
mean to call this prematurely, but I believe they call that backfiring.
Are you doing okay, Sarah?
Yeah, you could be a little bit nicer, guys. Just a tiny bit.
I filled out paperwork.
No, you did not.
I wrote a name on this piece of paper.
You're
I
the
go
last-
over and
I will
I-
help you.
He
A
hasn't
little
done that.
more.
Dusk, I will help you with your paperwork if you be nice.
I offered her a bite of my breakfast yesterday. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
you could be a little bit nicer. I
That
know
is the
you're
nicest
over it.
I've
I
ever
know
been.
you're.
It's
Okay.
been at least 11 years since he's written a note.
I know.
The last time was the clearly infamous capital murders in Neverwinter that we solved in 3 days, by the way.
I've never heard about this case. Can you please tell me about it again?
Exactly the same way or more detail?
I'm gonna need more detail this time. And she'll like literally just walk over to Dusk and be like,
I'm kind of like casually leaning against Cranbris's desk, and I kind of swat down and I just say, I put my hand on Cranbris's shoulder and say, "Hey, buddy, just want to check in. You know, said wow to all of us, but said mom to you. You okay, pal?"
oh my god.
I have to like take a minute.
Sarah's just gonna stop right where she is, like,
I light my pipe.
The goat picks its
Don't
head
say
up.
anything.
The goat picks its head up and is like,
He doesn't say anything at all. There's like about a pregnant pause. Didn't think that through.
Got it. All right.
But I will say, now I have a headache, so I appreciate that.
Oh, there's some real nasty coffee left in the carafe if you want that. Are they done back there yet?
probably not, but like, just can you try to be nice?
Sure.
Agreeable, maybe, is a good way to put it, yeah?
Oh, that's probably a better way to put it.
I haven't thought about my mom in a really long time.
Is your head okay? Do you need
Consciously.
do you need a head rub?
Define head rub. Is it just like one of those like massages?
Yeah.
Zara gives very good head rubs.
I suppose I haven't had the pleasure yet, so I'll decide if I don't like it pretty soon. So
Okay. And so Zara will just go give a head rub. I don't think I have just healing, unless it's like some major healing, which.
I'll say for this, it's just like it relaxes, eases the headache.
Yeah.
apologies if I smell like smoke.
It's okay, actually. It doesn't bother me. I like pipe smoke.
Do you with the flora and fauna on the desk, do you have a particular flower that you prefer?
Huh. I haven't been asked that in some time. I'll have to think about it.
My daughter likes those sweet pink roses.
Those are pretty. You have a daughter? Huh.
And I just gotta sit back and relax.
I think he'll relax, and I think she'll just say, "I never had a dad," and just rub the back. Yeah, just rub the back of your head.
Yeah, like you kind of see his like reptilian eyes that are typically really cold, kind of like soften just a little bit, and then just a teensy bit.
I'm looking over at Baron to see if there's like warmth about the situation or an equal level of discomfort that Dusk has.
No, Varn is just kind of like looking on and nodding and smiling and asking the carafe for a little more tea and looks over at Dusk and says, "Do you have family too then?"
I have parents and siblings. I haven't seen them in a while. They're not really city folk.
Are you the outlier then?
Yep. Yourself?
They're not with us any longer.
I'm sorry to hear that. Put a question clearly in the sentence.
Yeah, no, that's what kind of started me on this path in the first place.
Got it.
But that's been seen to, and here we are now.
All right. Sighing, I pick up a pencil and I scratch a few more things. Think about it for a second. Write a few more things on a piece of paper.
You know, you really do have good handwriting when you slow down.
Sometimes these get in the way and I'll put my claws out.
Fair.
Hey, default pencil sharpener.
It's true.
Hadn't thought of that.
Rem, while you're in the office with the goat, it finally like breaks free and just charges back out into the main area. And it jumps on the little like side table that holds the carafe, and it's just trying to drink this really burnt coffee.
So I'm gonna run over to it, and I want to try to get the collar that makes it into a real goat off of it. Well, to a real illusion goat, I guess.
Okay.
I'm a real boy.
Roll a d20. Let's see how you land on this.
Oh boy, let's see.
Rolling.
I've heard that one really long time.
Actually, you know what?
18.
What was that?
18?
Oh yeah, that's a success. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Oh, the goat is decollared and is now back to being a stuffed goat. And I'm gonna stuff the collar, the collar into my dress of many pockets.
So
and
the stuffed goat, its like little snout has a little like coffee stain on it at this point. Like its little furry beard has got this like dark little stain going down it.
I take him over to the sink and I run him under some water and I'm like, "Oh, little goat, we can't have you being dirty."
I peek in Remrem's office. How much damage has the goat done?
Let's just roll a percentile here. That's not done a whole lot. There's like a couple plants, like a succulent that was on the wall. A little bit of moss is on the floor. Nothing serious.
The mom
There is a
comment
spot
really
on the wall
distracted it.
where it like kind of headbutt. It tried to get her, but it missed, and it kind of hit the wall. Yeah.
Boss, I'll hold out the updated piece of paper. Now it says CI, Cherico, address, usually some alleys near the port. Requisition request, 1 magic rope.
I just look over it. I'm like, your handwriting really is nice when you take the time to do it.
That is what I am saying.
Ah, see, we agree. It's almost like multiple people think that this is true.
Yep.
What's that, Zara?
Do you need someone to fix your wall?
I'll just shove the bookcase in front of it for now.
Okay.
We'll worry about that later. For now that we have at least some paperwork, and I put it like underneath the little clippy thing in my clipboard, we can discuss how we want to go about doing this. Do we want to have this CI? Do we want to focus on one or the other? What are y'all thinking?
Honestly, I would love to have some more information about Albert before we continue forward. I would like to know if he's actually at work or somewhere else. So if this person can give us more information on that without us having to devote our entire resources to it, all the better.
That makes sense to me. Does everyone else feel okay
I just
with
want to
that?
look at him when we talk to him.
Oh, yeah. That'll happen. To Albert, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll all
There will be a
looking at
lot
him.
of gazing.
Yes, very deep gazing.
Into his soul.
Right through it. Right through it.
Yeah. I'm going to gaze into his soul.
No, I'm going to gaze into his soul.
No.
Yeah, I would
Sarah just
say-
looks at you and is like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Got it. Oh, right.
Okay, well, I will put in the request for 1 magic rope. And
Boss.
do the appropriate stuff there to get one of those.
What does he want to do? What does your friend want to do with the magic rope?
I don't know. I mean, I don't ask all the questions. You just gotta
Oh, just
incentivize them.
curious.
Yeah, give and take.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Oh boy, that's fantastic.
Second story is in Suzelle.
Wow, do y'all hear how loud the ancient air conditioner is?
Creator of email.
Phones
Central AC.
and central HVAC.
I mean, they
Ancient.
have magic. They've got to have magic
Yeah.
cooling and heating.
And, yo,
Come
boss,
on.
boss is like a savant, yo.
That's why they put me in charge. I invented email.
And air conditioning.
It's literally on the resume. Line 4, invented email.
Forget about
You're
inventing
hired.
the internet. I invented email.
Yeah, right. I didn't even need the internet.
I just
Back in my
invented
day.
email.
Suck it, Al Gore.
I'm putting it in my notes.
Are you putting specifically "suck it, Al Gore"? Right?
Yes. It
Thank
says
you.
Rem-
Yes, you take
it
notes
says-
like me.
Suck
It
it
says
up.
Rem
notes
Rem
like
invents
me.
email. Suck it, Al Gore.
Yes, you take notes like
Right.
me.
Oh,
This is how I take notes too.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right, so we'll get them. We'll get them.
So we're going. So we're
doing
going
their
next
thing.
door. Is what we're doing.
And
Yes,
we're
we need
gonna
to
go
talk
next
to the
door.
deserter. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. We're gonna go see
So-
what's going on over there.
Are we
So-
are we all going together? Are you gonna go talk to your?
I
the
can do
plan?
this if we got approval, boss. I can do this real quick.
We will wait here for you.
Oh, it's
I
on the
would
way out.
like.
We can all go
Okay.
together.
Huh.
She starts
To the
thinking about like what
township.
alleys are around here, trying to figure out where this person's address is.
We've got a person for this.
Okay. Okay. We can go then.
So as we head out, I want to stop at Kaya
Mhm.
and kind of squat down, and I'll say, put out a bounty. Guy named Albert working for the Seven Sons. I'll describe what Albert looks like as far as we know. Say, let Jericho know. Prize is a magic rope. And I'll use my bounty ability, spend 5 AP on it, and then
Nice.
roll to see how it goes if they come back on
Okay.
day first.
Let's see what happens.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That is a
Yay!
Triumph!
First nat 20 of the game.
Yep.
Start off hot. Leroy.
So
the
what is that?
deed will be done by the end of your play session.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
And I just
okay.
I want Albert captured and brought in for questioning.
Okay.
Alive, please.
Duh.
Alive. Well, I guess we could question him dead, but that's not my
No,
area of expertise.
alive, please. I would like to kill him myself. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
That's that's how I took
Yet.
the earlier conversation.
Yet.
Yeah.
So
It just
Kaya
hurt
looks at
him.
Kaya looks at you, Dusk, and they say, "Do you want him here, or somewhere else?"
Boss. Interrogation here or elsewhere?
Can't hear you, Alex.
Oh, sorry. What was
Oh,
that?
there you go.
You want the interrogation here or elsewhere?
Let's start here in the jail and stay here in the jail for a bit. I don't want to risk moving anyone if we don't need to.
Oh, this is for our
Oh.
Albert.
Yeah.
Do you want him brought back here or elsewhere?
Brain. Yeah, let's bring him.
Kren and I have some spots if you want to keep this off book for now.
I don't want to keep it off book, but if you give me some information written down about a place, we can go to that place. And I will keep this information safe.
Or we could tell you audibly and then you can write it down.
Or we could just all exchange it orally and keep it that way and not write it down so that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Gotta have something written down. I will write it down in a
I'm
way that I
actually
will
in
know.
favor of what they're saying this
I
time.
agree. Like, I know that we're all about paperwork, and you know that we like to do
Alright.
everything you need for us, boss. But like,
There are certain things.
And Kaya chimes in, and Kaya goes, "Give me the paper. I'll write it down. I take care of it."
I'm okay with
Oh.
that.
Boss, you happy?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
happy.
And then as you guys walk out, Kaya looks at you, Dusk, says, "It'll be done."
That'll be the room we have over the spicy icy. That's where they make the peppercorn snow cones.
Peppercorn stuff.
I love how Smitty just keeps putting weird food into this game.
How is a crawler weird?
I've just decided it is because it's funny.
I decided it is.
We all have to bring something to the table,
has
right?
spoken.
We all build this world together.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Corey,
Yeah,
Corey
like
will learn that
food.
I like to put the most random things in the game just to
No,
make life a
that's-
little bit harder for him.
Yeah,
that's-
crullers and
I
mommy
love it.
issues.
No, I love it. Oh,
I already got a spot
goodness.
picked out for it, so we're good.
I
And then
love it so
Kaya
much.
Kaya looks at you, Dusk, after everyone leaves. You're kind of like the last one to straggle out, and you see Kaya like tear up the paper and just kind of like put it down and wink at you.
Wink back. Keep up the good work.
They nod. All right. So we will have an Albert by the end of the session. At the place above the spicy icy. All right.
Yeah, it's like what are those? What are they called? The not artist studios.
A
Oh my
loft.
god.
like a loft.
Thank you. Words are difficult tonight. Yeah.
All right.
I
So
can't keep our two captors separate, so
they're both named Albert. That's
you're all named Albert now.
Albert 1, Albert 2.
everyone is Albert.
Quick change the layout.
So it's a very quick walk to the lockup, where the deserter is being held. It maybe takes you guys like 3 minutes to get there. So, Sarah, if you want to turn into another giant bird and fly, you're more than
Not for 3 minutes, no.
Okay.
We're going across town, yes. For a 3-minute walk, nah.
Yeah, so you guys head out almost right across the street from you. Just so you guys know, is a place called Teverant's Tellings. It's a print shop. So if you guys ever need anything printed up, email addresses, telephone numbers, you can.
I'm so glad you did it.
You can go there and they'll take care of that for you. Sorry, I couldn't resist. So you head
Like the Kinkos of
Yes.
Suzelle.
Good.
FedEx
good.
Kinkos. Yep.
Oh my god. Yes. Good.
Beautiful.
Oh.
It's actually not a bad fantasy name if it like didn't have context in our world.
Yeah, it's true.
FedEx Kinkos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the actual? What did you name it though?
Teverant's Tellings.
Thank you.
Taverants Tellings. Teverant's Tellings.
Cool.
Yeah. So you guys head down, and it is just outside of the Citadel of the Purple Dragons. So the Purple Dragons, the Knights, have this kind of area to the southeast of the city that's completely walled off separately, where they have their naval. They have their own little docks for their own ships. They have like their own barracks, their own training stuff. They have their own section, but the lockup is just outside of their gates for that. And it looks like a giant block of stone. Like you walk up and it's a prison, but it looks like a giant block of stone. And that's where the city keeps people awaiting trial, criminals serving time. It's both a prison and a jail. And they do have a few statues of purple dragons on the outside in full battle gear. So Varn, you're actually pretty impressed with like the gear they're carrying. And then, yeah, that's basically what it looks like. And they're carved into it. So it's not like they're separate statues. They're actually like recess carved into it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it's a simple door, big wooden door, seriously fortified. And yeah.
Are there any animals around whatsoever?
You see like birds flying around, some insects, but it's inside a city. Like you catch what you think might be a rat or a mouse, like looking down an alley every once in a while. Some
I
stray
meant more
cats
like
and dogs.
as we get to the place, like cats. But are there any inside, or is it just?
I don't know. You haven't
locked
gone
down?
inside yet.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just wondering if it looks like it's locked down, so they wouldn't allow anything like that in there.
I mean, from what you can tell, there aren't that many openings. There aren't that many windows. It literally looks like a giant block of stone.
Okay.
It's as if like this used to be a mountain and they took everything else around it, but like carved and left this one section of building to be a prison.
Okay. Okay.
So you guys want to head in? Is there anything else you want to do before you go in?
Cranberries, don't don't you know a couple of folks here?
Sure. I mean, probably don't remember them, but they definitely remember me.
Yeah, I can. You guys do. Both of you know a few people here. Dusk and Cranbris, you both know the head of corrections, who is Bartlett Warren. You also know the second shift person in booking in the second shift, who is Talia Mianelis. THALIAMIANELIS. And you also know a correctional officer named Balin Beecher.
I totally took that as like that question as like prisoners that we put in here, not. So that's why I was like, aha, I have a really cool retort to say here.
But yes, there are a smattering of people that you.
Someone
put
missed
away
my
in here.
chat earlier today, and
Oh yeah, I guess.
yeah.
I guess I did. My bad. Yeah, maybe I should go look at that in a minute.
It was just in our group chat. I think you. What are we on second shift right now? Would it be second shift or?
It's in the morning, so you're technically on first shift right now. But the correctional officer that you know is first shift. It's the booking. You don't know the first shift booker.
Right. You might want to hit up Balin. I recall the two of you had a bit of a rapport.
That sounds most wonderful. See how the morning's going.
I have a question before we go in. You've been here before, Cranbris, Dusk?
Many a time.
Do they allow pets inside?
Like they're like his art is kind of almost always furrowed brown, kind of deepens a little bit, and I never considered bringing one in, but I mean, I've never seen any written rules about no pets.
Sometimes people are more open to talk when they're at ease.
I feel like I've seen them keep a cat for mice, but definitely no goats.
I
don't think they were thinking goats.
Have you seen my trick before?
I haven't. I just wanted to be clear that goats probably were not a good idea. That's all.
I can be more than a bird, but I need to go somewhere where no one can watch me for a second.
I mean, presumably, like Dusk and Kren, you would know that, like on the inside, there's like some closets and like an arms locker. There's some places that you could probably get Sarah into.
Yeah, could. Meeting of the minds. Just you, yourself, and you.
Color.
What was that?
And I think that they'll look at Varin. What color?
Blue. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Was that
gonna be a blue cat?
I felt the disappointment.
That's actually Sarah going. You weren't paying attention, were you?
I was taking notes. Tabby.
Oh, okay. Blue. Blue.
I heard that you were
cat.
turning into an animal. I didn't hear what kind of animal.
It was so good. It was so good.
So fun.
Blue.
Someone clip that, please.
And you were just like
so
like
sorry,
you were
man.
just there.
You were like emphatic about it.
Blue.
Of course.
Fuck yeah, blue.
There is no other answer.
Oh.
Yeah, blue. My boy, Blue.
Now, like in Magic Group, is there like the Blue's Clues dog, but in cat
There
form?
might
Yeah.
be blue cats. We don't know.
Could be.
That's what I was like.
Shout out
I
to
was literally going,
Magenta.
are there blue cats? That was what was going through Kate's brain. Sarah was like,
Russian blue.
oh, that would be pretty though.
You could do that. You could do a Russian blue. I mean, they're blue.
They're real deep
That would be-
gray. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, no, we're gonna go with blue.
Perfect.
Okay. First
It's-
answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
It'll be blue.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys able to go in, walk in. Dusk, you and Kren kind of go up, pound on the door, little slot opens. There's a human kind of looking at you, eyes right there, and they say, "What's your business?"
Our business.
Bringing people in, interrogating,
I
prisoner
kind of.
transport. What's the deal today?
I
Oh,
shuffle
wait,
up
Dusk?
with
Is
my
that you?
clipboard.
Dusk. What are you doing?
Who is that? I'm checking out the eyes. Can I see?
Yeah, it's Balin.
Oh, Balin. Good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, let me introduce the new boss.
I've heard rumors.
They're probably all true. This is
And I'm-
Remrem.
I'm running. I'm like, what rumors have we heard?
And while you say that, like
Hi.
that door, big wooden iron reinforced door opens up, and you see a person in like just kind of studded leather armor, kind of generic city watch kind of tunic garb, long sword sheathed, but they're carrying a spear.
Remrem, allow me to introduce Balin Beecher, possibly the city's worst guard, but also its best card player.
Oh,
And they like,
well, hello. It's nice to meet you. I bet we'll be seeing a lot of you, probably.
maybe we'll see. Hopefully, well, maybe not, because that's a lot of crime, and we don't want crime.
Yeah, but it's happening whether or not we're catching people. So if we see you a lot, it means we're catching people.
Is that like a insult? Are you saying we're not catching people?
No, not at all. I'm saying that it's good if we we just want to see you a lot. That's all I'm saying. We like you.
Okay. New boss. All right.
Yep.
Same as the old boss.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully not.
Okay.
We'll keep you posted.
So, yeah, what can we do you for?
Well, I believe you've got someone on lockup that we'd be quite interested in talking to.
Deserter.
Bobolek kid.
Oh, them. I didn't think. Oh, I thought you were talking about the that bird Nagpa thing. Because you guys brought them
Oh.
back. I thought you wanted to talk to them. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Bobolek kid. We can go talk to the Bobolek kid. I'll probably have to talk to Bartlett about that one, because that's kind of a high-profile case, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They brought the War Wizards in.
Is that so? Serious business. Perfect.
Yeah. I heard
You know-
Vanerance himself actually came in on this one.
That's a big deal indeed. And so no way you think to keep this quiet, Balin?
Kind of looks around. Says, "You're gonna owe me big at the table."
I'll get you next 5 antes. How's that?
10.
It's almost payday.
10 antes.
10.
Well, 5 from me, 5 from Kren.
4 and 6.
Fine.
I don't care. It's a total of 10. You two sort it out. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
And like quickly like spins on their heel and starts walking. And yeah, you guys start to go down one of these hallways, and
Excuse me.
Oh.
Is there a bathroom I could use?
yeah, and they kind of look around. They're like, yeah, here. There's actually down this little hallway right here, and then it's the second door on the left.
Okay, don't wait up for me.
Careful, Zara.
But how do you know where we're going?
Oh, I don't really like the inside of prisons. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm gonna wait out here. If that is that okay?
I don't care. Sure.
Okay, great, thanks.
I mean, you're with Dusk and Kren, so good enough for me. Phew, keeps on going. Kind of goes down, continues to walk, and it's kind of confusing. They're turning left and right and going straight, and again, like you get this weird sensation, almost like in your building, that it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And you're all turned around. You're all Kren and Dusk. You kind of have an idea, but Remrem and Varan, you're like, where am I up in here? Like your sense of direction of where things should be and how you'd get back out are a little confusing.
So as soon as go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, as soon as they take off,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah runs into the pretty much bolts into the back in the bathroom and just shapeshifts right quick into a cat.
Okay.
And then in shapeshift can telepathically send messages to members of the party.
Sweet.
And is like, all right, I'm coming. You better slow it down so I can catch up.
Let me see if I can make this work properly. As we are going, and you can tell me how many points I should spend.
Sure.
At every time we make a turn, Varan will just kind of like draw a little half moon, like a little crescent moon on every corner. We take a turn and use sigil. So I get a telepathic signal every time a creature passes it. So with Sarah on her tail, every time they pass a sigil, I can say left or right.
Now, is it a creature you know, or is it any creature?
Oh, shoot. When creatures, it just says creatures. Shoot.
That would be bad. That could be really bad.
Okay.
And here's another question. Before you do that, hold on.
Yes.
There's another question. So,
yes.
Is this sigil visible? I'll let you choose whether you want it to be visible or not.
It doesn't say. It says you draw a magic symbol on any object. The spell lasts until you cancel it or cast the sigil again. Okay, so I can only cast it once every little bit of time. So,
you know what? For this, I'll say if you want to spend 1 AP per sigil, you can keep them all up.
Okay.
And and let's say it's gonna take like the amount of turns that you're gonna make here. I'd say about 7.
That is nearly all my AP, actually, because the sigil itself is 2. So if I wanted to cast it that many times, I think I will pass on doing it that many times.
But how long would it take me to catch up with them, though?
Reminder, it would actually not that long.
Okay. Then if it was...
You do pick up 5 points at the end of every session. So if you hadn't added your 5 points, and you also have those 10 points, I don't know if you divvied them up, but you also have those 10 AP.
We didn't yet.
Oh no.
Sitting in your collective.
Bank.
In the bank. No, I don't think we did anything with those. No. Yes, I did add that, but we started with. I spent quite a few last time, and so I have 29 currently. So that would be 21 of my 29. So I don't think I'm going to spend that many. Sure. But I will do my best to just telepathically lead Sarah then.
Sure. And it's like you can kind of say, yeah, I'll give you that. You can kind of be like, straight 10 feet, first left, 20 feet, second right. You'll be able to do it. And as a cat, Sarah, presumably you can also like kind of sniff them out. I mean, Dusk is right there, so Kitty has that sort of connection too.
I'm just releasing pheromones as I walk.
Are you just like pawing at everything to like get and like doing that thing that they do just on all the corners?
Yeah, I was gonna say I have the ability to whisper too, so we can make this work thematically, or whisper telepathically is what I should say to be clear. So
So yeah, you don't need to burn anything. Yeah, so you're able to catch up, and you guys see after a little while, blue cat come.
Come and start weaving through the legs.
Mm-hmm. And
Rub up against your leg.
Yeah.
Balin finally,
Reach down and screech.
Balin kind of stops and says, "Guys, just wait here a minute," and goes around the corner. And it takes a couple. It makes like 2 or 3 minutes, and then they come back. I'm like, all right, you want to talk to the kid? It's going to have to be fast. You've got about 10 minutes tops. Follow me. If I bang on this door 3 times, you got to get out quick.
Someone is coming, probably more than likely.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
And I didn't let you in.
We don't even know who you are.
10 hands. All right, go. And they're like post up in front of the door and kind of open it while looking out and around and like kind of usher you in. And sitting there is a young man who is probably like in his early 20s. Fairly good looking, has like blondish brown hair, like dirty blonde hair, kind of wavy, kind of comes back, almost like hockey hair for anyone that watches hockey. Really well built. Obviously, he's like a soldier. Piercing blue eyes, and looks remarkably calm given the circumstances. And he's just sitting there, and he's got handcuffs, and he's handcuffed to the kind of the table in front of him. He's in like simple tunic, some breeches, some leather shoes, and he's just sitting there. He looks at each of you as you come in, like right in the eyes, makes that connection, looks at you, kind of sizes you up, and
Good morning.
good morning.
Treating you all right in here?
I'd say it's pretty good.
How do you feel about cats?
We had a lot of them on my farm. They're all right.
Let me introduce you to my favorite one. Actually, well, then I'll kind of look to Sarah.
Just get the whole cat stretch.
Like, that's a nice blue cat.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about you and why you decided to exit stage left?
And he kind of sits there for a second. Who are you, and why should I tell you anything?
Well, Chief Inspector Crenbris. These are my lovely associates. Chief Inspector Dusk, Inspector Varen, Boss Remrem, and you've met our friendly, adorable cat.
I think
Just
Sarah
some
will just go
questions?
up and start sniffing. But just do the cat, like the slow,
Mhm.
weird cat thing where like, I'm gonna kind of sniff you, but not really. But kind of, but not really.
And like as you get kind of close to his handcuffed hands, he does lift his hands up and let you like rub up on his hands.
Now, just breathe. We're just here to figure out the truth of all this and figure out what would happen. That's it.
Again, are you gonna let me go? This is, I don't, you know.
Well, first, the truth, and then we'll see where that takes us.
If it helps, we're working in interest of your family.
Who sent you over here?
Looks to Rem.
Yeah. Well, we were sent over here by some very important people. It's our job to make sure everything's going well in this city. And something funky has happened with you because Simus sent us over here to be like, hey, this kid's a good kid, wouldn't do the bad things they've been accused of. And if you're being accused of things you didn't do, we'd like to help you and figure out who did do the bad things.
Simus sent you. I can tell you a few things then, but I'm afraid I can't tell you everything. You don't want to risk. And he kind of like does that cold shiver thing. So.
And he's sitting, right?
Yeah, he's chained. His legs are actually chained too. But they're not chained to the floor or anything. It's just his hands chained to the desk. And it's like a pretty heavy oak desk.
And he's just been stuck in this room chained to a desk. That sucks.
Yeah.
We do need to talk about how the people in here are treated after we finish.
I think Sarah, like literally the cat jumps up onto the desk and will like curl up kind of like next to him and just like kind of lean on the arm.
Okay. And he lets it. He doesn't shoo it. He doesn't look annoyed. If anything, he's kind of happy for some touch, something warm. And he says, well, I don't know how much you know, but they picked me up trying to get into Sembia. They brought in the war wizard, teleported me back, tried to read my thoughts. I don't know. I don't really remember a whole lot, but they brought in Vainrance. He tried. And all of you would know that Vainrance is like the number 2 war wizard in Suzail. He's pretty much a badass dude. And he said all he could see was just the image of Castle Erlingstar. That's all he could see. Castle Erlingstar. That's all I saw in my head. That's what he said I had in my head. Which I don't understand. Suddenly I was at the border and then they picked me up and brought me back here, and I've tried to tell them stuff, but you know, they kept asking and probing about and you see his hands start to they kind of pull off you, Sarah, in cat form, and they go to the edge of the desk and he kind of grips it really hard. And you notice that the chain that's holding him is really taut, so it probably hurts for him to be doing this. And he says, they asked me about Erlingstar, and I didn't remember a whole lot, and they probed deeper, and it hurt. It hurt really bad.
Apologies.
And they said that I was originally brought there to oversee a block that housed Sembian spies. That's what I was there to do. I was to guard some of these spies. That's where the king sends all of everyone knows that. That's where you send traitors and spies, and send them to Erlingstar. So that's what I was, and that's what I know. That's what I can remember.
So you mean to say that you didn't desert. You didn't run away.
I don't think I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't want to dishonor my family. I don't want to make them upset. I love what I do. It's an honor to be a knight of the Purple Dragons. But I
Still
don't
hurting
know.
himself, or has he stopped?
He stopped.
Okay.
I kind of sigh
So-
for just a moment. Oh, yeah. Go
Just
ahead.
like Corey, just
Yeah.
to confirm. So
Yep.
he's saying he was stationed at Castle Erlingstar. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I'd like to burn 3 action points and cast Insight.
Okay.
And this allows me to gaze into the mind of a nearby creature.
Okay.
And the effect that I would like to choose is to learn something that he intends to accomplish over a long period of time.
Okay. So as you kind of look at him while he's trying to sort through thoughts and figure out who all of you are and what he can remember and what he can't, you sense like emanating out of him this desire to not reform the Knights of the Purple Dragon, but ensure that they aren't used for ill purposes or bad things. Like, he wants to remain honorable and really make sure that they're used for what their original intent was. Like, you feel this sense of just honor like wash
Yeah.
over you.
Gotcha. For what it's worth, I believe you. So now we need to figure out.
Honestly, I'd like to know what I was doing there. If there's anything you could do to help, I'd be more than happy to. I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I want to go back to the barracks or home. Rem?
I'm gonna do something bad here. Maybe. So I'm gonna use a point to use speak, which allows me for the next minute. I can speak silently into the mind of a nearby creature. My lips move like I'm speaking, but no words come out. So I'm gonna bend down like I'm tying my shoe so that nobody can see that my mouth is moving. And I'm going to first ask Kren, do you actually believe them? Do you believe that they're good? And do you believe that they need help? Or are you just saying that to try to get more information?
I assume I can respond in kind. And like I'll actually pretend like I'm actually putting like my pipe in my mouth, but I'm not lighting it or anything. But I'll just kind of say like while my mouth is over, my hand is over my mouth. Well, my mouth
is over my mouth.
My mouth is over my mouth.
It's the meta mouth.
Mouth.
Yeah, just kind of a response to that. I'm sort of indifferent, but I'm leaning towards belief. But I did say that just to set the table, so to speak.
So I want to do the same thing again. Let me make sure I'm recording my points here. I want to do the same thing again, but I want to ask Dusk the same questions of how he feels about this person and about how, like, if he thinks that this person is a good person and needs help, or if maybe they did a bad thing.
So Dusk will just like look over at Rem and then just turn around so he's facing the wall. Like no subtlety whatsoever.
At least time. You have
I
to
love
shoot.
Dusk so much.
Oh my god.
And say, I don't know, but the fact that he only remembers where he came from and the type of prisoners they send there makes me think that somebody there, I'll chuckle for a second, got his goat. and I think we need to find out who. You also hear my rapier like loosen a little bit in my scabbard, and I'll smile at that.
How many times are you gonna say goat this game?
All of them, all of the times.
All the times.
You get a goat.
Oh
and
my
you
God.
get a
You
goat.
get a goat.
And you
Everybody
get a goat.
Everybody gets to go. Ah.
Goats for everybody. Okay, so we definitely need more information from this person, probably, right? Okie dokie. How much time do we have?
I'd say at this point you've probably got like another 4 minutes.
Okay.
I think
so-
at this point, Sarah would just reach out telepathically and be like, "It's okay, I'm planning to stay."
Can I speak telepathically to her or no?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't
What's it-
say.
New
I mean, I
character, who
can
dis?
use points.
It
I can
says
use points to do it.
I can send messages telepathically to members of
Yeah.
the party. It says nothing on
Yeah.
here about
I would say
anything else.
that's just a one-way. It's a one-way
Okay.
street.
That's what I
One-way
thought.
street.
That makes sense.
The link is one point, which is I think what allows the response.
Okay. So I'll just ask it kind of openly because I feel like both Kren and Dusk are kind of understanding where I'm maybe going.
Yeah.
But so I'll just kind of ask, like, so do we take him when we leave, or do we leave him here?
Is that out loud or is that still in the?
I'm gonna say it out loud.
I don't know that I feel comfortable just taking him.
Not
But as so I will give me a moment here. This should only take a second. I would like to use soul gaze on him.
Okay.
So I get to roll on that to see what it is. I'll spend that point. And my eyes just kind of like turn like galaxy mode black as I look at him. 12. I learn his ideal and flaw.
So as your eyes, like that dark, spacey cosmos, like depth, he pulls back a second, like, and you're an imposing figure anyhow.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 foot plus furball whose eyes go black as he stares at him. And he's kind of sitting there a little while, wild-eyed, and you get the sense that his highest ideal is honor. And you also sense that his biggest flaw is that he's a little gullible.
So they'll eyes will go back to normal and look up at Adam and say, "You're an honorable sort." And look to Rem and say, "I believe there is wrong that has been done here. I will agree to this."
Since we're short on time and Rem's a little nervous and also really wants to do the right thing, I am
like 1
going
minute.
to cast Undo, which means that I speak a word of power, reversing the fate of a nearby object. The spell cannot be used to affect living things, but it can be done. It can undo like a shoelace or a garment. So I want to use that to undo the chains that he's in.
Mm-hmm. You
And
sit there,
then-
like, as he's, like, pulling back after staring at Varn staring at him, like, all of a sudden, he pulls back, and then tink, tink, like, the manacles, tink, tink, pop off his arms and his feet. And he's kind of like,
You'd better be worth this. That's all I'm gonna say because
All they're getting is like a little meow from Sarah and like kind of like the total like the pick me up cat look. Like
who are you asking to pick you up?
him.
Okay.
Um,
And he just kind of looks like, should I take the cat? Where are we
Yeah.
going?
Pick her up. Pick her up. Pick her up. Come on.
I put my hand on Rem's shoulder and I say, they know us here. Like, we can't just walk out with him and not have there not be consequences.
Well, then we'll teleport and hope for the best.
They're gonna know that we took him. I've got this handled. I'm gonna
Bang,
stay
three-
for a while.
3 bangs on the door.
Zara, maybe hang out because I might need some help, and I'll take out my.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then Zara will jump out of his arms.
Oh no!
Like, do
Oh,
you change?
fucking Jesus.
Like,
No,
do
no,
you-
no, 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 no.
Okay.
Stays as a cat.
Okay.
That would have been great. Just
No, no, no. Stays as a cat. Not gonna change out of being a cat because if it just looks like Dusk is Dusk,
Right.
and has
Okay.
a cat there, well, it's
Well,
whatever.
I'm gonna take. Oh God, 1 minute. Oh, yeah.
And the
I'm gonna
door,
take my-
the door opens and they lean their head and they're like, it's time to go.
All right, go, go, go. And I'm going to take my mask of artifice, throw it on, and make myself look like Bobalek. I'm going to sit down, pull out my needful key, lock myself back up into his chains, and just sit there at the desk.
oh
then-
yes.
And then Sarah will just like literally like just wind around your legs and just lay under your chair.
Man.
So,
So good.
That is
So
here's the
good.
scary
So
part
good.
is that for teleport, I do have to roll to see if we all end up because that's the only way
I think we have a couple rerolls too though, right? Because of
Right now you have 1 reroll.
one reroll.
Well,
Okay, well,
let's do it.
Well, you
I
can
feel
roll
like-
you can roll with advantage on it.
Let's
if
do
it was just the party, I could get us all back right away because I bound myself to the office. But he's not part of the party.
Okay.
Do
So,
it. Do it. Do the thing.
For teleport, so if I'm rolling with advantage, I just roll 2d20s, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Use it. It's worth it.
All right.
Okay, the top one is a 17. 11 through 19, you all arrive safely. You and any willing creatures nearby are teleported to any place I choose.
All right.
So I'm just gonna teleport us back to the agency for now because I'm new and that's the place that I know.
All right. And on
Oh,
that
good,
note,
you guys.
let's take a short break.
Jesus.
Oh.
Well done. Well done, y'all.
That was so
Holy-
good.
right, welcome back, everybody. And so, yeah, they have sprung young Tien Bobolik out of the lockup and teleported back to the agency.
Did I do that?
So yeah, you are all sitting now. Well, not sitting, but you all appear in your cellar of the agency, and Tien is.
Keith?
And you see so many emotions wash over him, like disbelief, worry, fear, excitement, fear.
The same thing happens
Fear.
to Rem.
Fear.
He's are you gonna get in trouble for this?
Probably.
Pretty soon.
Well, I mean, sometimes out in the field we have to make decisions and take appropriate actions, and I feel that this was justified. So I will be working on my mental defense of this for a while.
I am going to give the party a point of stress, because I know even though Remrem is on the outside saying this is going to be all right, on the inside, I know you're freaking out.
Yeah, the chaotic good thing is my character flaw. So,
So yes, the group has picked up a point of stress.
And how does that affect us again?
Right now, it's just like it's there. It doesn't affect you in any way. If you hit 5 points of stress, well, we'll deal with that when we get there. If we get there.
Oh, what a tease!
Now that said, it can go away. You can do things to make it go away. Resolving situations, like using like a spell or something to like ease you or something like that. Or whoever it was affecting, it can be undone.
What kind of plans does Zara have again?
Ha! I see what you did there.
What do you want?
As your boss, I cannot say.
All right, I'll leave that one alone. So
yeah.
Seeing his like indignation,
Yeah,
I reach into my coat pocket and put a flask right in front of him. Shh. Just take a sip.
Yeah, he takes a pretty hard pull off that, hands it back to you.
There's a good lad. There's a good lad.
I don't really know why you did that, but thank you.
It was just a gut feeling, and I'm hoping it pays off. I'm hoping it ends up okay.
But now they're all gonna be looking for me, and that means
Well,
So I want to be clear. Like my intention when I did that in the room was I was staying in the cell.
You're him.
Like I'm him in the cell, so they don't
Right.
know he's gone.
Right.
okay.
Mhm.
He's not sure. He doesn't know that.
you
Right.
remember the big
Okay.
kitty that was
Ye-
with us?
ye-
Not the little kitty, but
Yeah.
the big kitty.
Yeah.
And there's no big kitty here now.
Right.
You're the
Because-
big kitty.
There's a big kitty in the cell.
Standing to be you.
Oh.
Because he looks like Dusk right now, right?
No. I just look like
Oh.
him. He looks like him.
okay.
So
Oh, okay. I
how's
thought
he
that was
gonna
a
get
picture.
back? Is he gonna stay there? They're gonna move him.
We'll figure it out.
When
He'll
and
figure it
where?
out.
Do you know?
I mean, they usually
Did
put a
they tell
bag over my head and then move me somewhere. I'm not sure where. But I go
You'll be
into
fine.
another. I go into another cell.
This is not our first rodeo, my good man. We've done this before.
Varn will walk up to him and just put a hand on his shoulder, and I'm going to use inspire. I can invent a famous quote or proverb or borrow one from the real world, so I am looking up Russian proverbs.
Why not? I like it.
And just pat him on the shoulder and goes, the spoken word is not a sparrow. Once it flies out, you can no longer catch it.
And you see him like like think for a second, then he shakes his head and he goes, I don't know why I feel better, but I do.
Until the end of the day, the NPC shapes their behavior around their ideal and cannot fall victim to their flaw.
Okay.
We can't trick him.
He's like, so
Good.
I don't know how to help you. I want to help you now, but I don't know how. The only thing I can think of, I don't think we're going to find answers here. I think we have to go to Erling Star.
Let's back up for just a moment.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Give me an idea of your current thoughts and feelings of the order of the Purple Dragon. Is it trending upwards from your perspective? Is it going sideways? What's the situation?
I mean, everyone that I know is pretty good. But I mean, everyone has, the cutters, the people who are always trying to get to the front. Do they not? I mean, it's people. People are going to do what people do, and you can't always stop them.
Inherently selfish in a lot of cases, no doubt.
I mean, being a purple dragon gets you power, and the higher up you go, gets you more power. And some people, for whatever reason, choose to ignore the honorable side of it and choose to simply honor themselves.
So Corey, that kind of, in my mind at least, doesn't match up with the information that I gleaned. Am I correct in stating that?
Well, no. So what he wants is he wants to make sure that it stays that way, but it doesn't imply that it's currently bad.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. Yeah,
because
I was like,
in his heart, he doesn't want to see it go bad. Like
Gotcha.
He doesn't want it to turn that way, but it's not. It doesn't mean that it is turning that way.
What is the last thing you truly remember?
Walking up a set of stairs back to my post.
In Erling Star.
Yes.
And then you were outside?
No, it was inside, but I don't know from where I was coming.
Is there anything that you encountered previous to that was strange or out of the ordinary? Anything that would have piqued your thought that might have seemed out of place?
And he stretches hard. You see him really straining the memory banks there. I remember going up these stairs on several occasions, but I don't know where I was coming from. I can describe them. They're stone steps. There's maybe about 5 or 6 of them with a low, stone handrail that goes back up. It was dank smelling. The light, it was very little light, and it was almost like bluish green. And as you start, things are sparking, and you can see he's starting to remember a few more things. He's just it wasn't, there were 6 of us on this rotation. Yeah, there were 6 of us. There are 5 others.
Do you have the names?
Lauren, Hilarion, Eldurk, Zeral, Kolrith. And you see him like find a chair and just sit down in a chair and like slumps into it, and he's like looking visibly tired.
It's all right.
Is there anything to drink? Like
What would you like?
just water?
You. Well, yeah. Grab the carafe. Water, please. And just set it down.
He smells it.
It's just water.
Or you don't want it to be.
Varen will take a step back. Boss, do you have the names of the other deserters? Do they match with the list he just gave us?
Do I have that name?
I'll say that you have one of them and it does match. You have Lauren and it matches.
Okay. Yes, I have one, Lauren, that matches. So this person exists, at least, probably.
Something is weird about this post.
It's a town mission, boss.
Is it what?
Like another out of towner.
I think it might be. I think maybe we're gonna have to go
Should we?
find out. We can't just leave him though. He's a deserter. He might desert us too.
I don't think you will, but I think we need to worry about our friends first.
We do need to worry about Dusk.
And Sarah.
Oh, wait. Did you stay at the jail too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, the keys
Oh,
of the
no.
jail. Oh Lord.
Both
Enter
kitties.
I'm
laugh
not a
track.
kid. Oh my god.
Kitty.
Kitty.
Oh, the kitty.
Not kid.
I was a kid. I'm like, I'm not a child.
No.
Kitty's arguably
The
worse.
two felines. The two
Person.
felines.
Yes, the
Yes.
feline.
I would
Oh my
also
God.
like to point out that Crenbris called Sarah his favorite cat and not Dusk.
I know it was my favorite moment.
He knows I'd be offended at that. Not at being
Yeah,
called his favorite
that-
cat.
no, being called the
cat.
cat. Yes.
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 Mm-hmm.
We've worked together a long time.
So you guys would all know that you guys are in Suzale, which is right here.
Yep.
Erlingstar is up here in the Thunder Peaks, up on the right. So it's a pretty good journey if you're not teleporting.
Okay.
Like it's probably gonna take a solid week to get there.
By balloon.
By
That's a joke if you watched episode 1. Anyway.
Have a
Let's-
week because we have an Albert coming up as well.
And also, we have a jailbreak round 2 to consider
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah, we thought this through really well.
I'd argue. Boss, you're getting good at sarcasm. I almost answered that. You learned quickly. I respect that.
I'm doing my best here. Okay. Well, do we want to travel first or jailbreak first?
Jailbreak.
You definitely need to.
Well, here's the thing. If we were going to jailbreak, why didn't we just break? Why we leave him in the first place?
You know what?
Because I agree we need to get them, but
Genuinely, I think that they can probably take care of themselves for the time being.
I worry about our cat friends. But
Good. As our boss, I believe it is a legal and human resources obligation. And though we've only known each other for a short amount of time, I would argue even a personal one, I have none of those obligations to worry
Yes, not a single one. No, no connection at all to either of those folks. None. And it is definitely not written into your contract as it is into mine.
What contract?
Oh, they don't tell you anything, do they?
I've signed no such thing. My contract ran
Okay.
out about.
I don't know who told you that, but my filing cabinet says
Have
different.
Have you heard of hand wave? That's the thing that I just did.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Good.
Rorum's
Moving
thinking
right
to
along.
herself, they just have no idea how much information has been collected on them. It is quite disturbing.
He doesn't care.
How, how far does Sarah's shape-shifting telepathic link go?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You good?
Does it say on the thingy?
I don't.
Like, does it say
Nope.
nearby or?
It just says the party.
I'm gonna
It just
say.
says the party.
I'm gonna say. We'll say it can. Like, I'll say right now, at your distance, it's still fine. I'd
So
say if you tried to like cross town.
We also have the stones. Don't forget.
I do remember that.
OMG.
And here's the other question: does that work while you're? Does your gear work while you have shapeshifted?
I can. Okay.
I believe you have all your. You can choose to have all your gear. I've only read it once. I think you can choose to have all your gear with you.
I have all my stuff with me. I cannot
But I don't
cast
think
spells,
she
use
can-
items, or speak languages while transformed. So no,
Okay,
it does
okay.
not work.
I was gonna say because I knew you like kept your inventory. You didn't have to like leave it
Right.
behind, but I wasn't sure if you could use items.
Yep.
So yes, but that's the only reason why Varen hasn't used the Skycaller amulets yet, is because Sarah's.
But my
in-
question is,
Yeah.
do I have to
No
have it? Do
speakerphone,
I have to be
please.
using it to hear
Oh,
Corey?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna let you do that.
okay. So, Varen will just reach down and we haven't really decided what these look like. I think theirs is a moonstone because why
I love
not?
it.
Oh, pretty.
Okay, if yours is a moonstone,
fairy.
then mine is like a sunstone. That's
Yes!
like the best.
Yes, perfect.
Y'all are so adorable.
Yeah. Reach down and just kind of like touch it and it just glows a little bit. And I can't remember if it has to be spoken out loud or if it's a telepathic thing. Let's see.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Let me
I
check.
will say
don't
this though:
remember.
the two stones actually can interlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's almost perfect too, because
Yeah.
they've been built like with a moon and a
Yes.
sun to interlock.
Mhm,
Yes,
mhm,
I
mhm.
love it. I love it.
Yes. When held in hand, allow the other to communicate telepathically by wishing the link to be created. They can be activated up to 3 times a day, and we can communicate up to 5 minutes with each activation. So, kind of just like touch it and whisper like a couple like invoking type words. I don't know what they would be, and then, are you doing okay in there still?
How long has it been since they've been gone? Because I feel like
it's not long at all.
okay.
Because it was a quick teleport back. They had maybe like a 5-minute conversation with Tien.
Okay.
So it's been maybe like maybe
Because I
7
think-
minutes.
By the time that they were gone, literally Sarah would have like laid under the chair, edged up to Dusk's leg, and telepathically sent, "So is there a plan?" You're muted.
No, I just said no.
I said, right now, I want to see if someone was coming, if that's why you shoot us out, and if so, what we might be able to learn. But once we decide to go, I'm pretty confident we can get out of here real easy.
Yeah, I've got some things that might help. Okay. Oh, and then when this comes, we're just waiting.
Let us know if there's anything you need from the outside. we're getting as much information as we can from Tian.
The baby.
Yes, the child.
We're fine.
Says the
You know, we can-
157-year-old.
I mean,
Fair.
I think Zara says back. We're fine. You know I can take care of him and myself. We'll be fine.
I know you can. But I worry. Constantly.
Yes, I know.
So kind of coming back out of that, they're doing fine for now. Yeah, they're waiting for someone to come into the room, so we'll see what happens. The link I have will last for another 5 minutes, so if something happens in the next 5 minutes, I'll be able to talk. If not, we'll figure out something else. I'll activate it again for now.
Okay.
But if we want to make a plan, I can let them know what we're doing.
Well,
And as you finish this conversation up, Varn, you see Dusk and you see Zara. Two guards come in, and they're not dressed like the previous people around. Like, they don't look like regular city guards. They are up armored a little bit. They're actually Knights of the Purple Dragon. And behind them walks in a gentleman with purple robes, like velvet purple robes, black hemmed lining, this like white collar that's kind of popped up and it kind of comes around and comes down, and it's clasped at the neck with like a large diamond looking jewel. It's clear, and he's carrying a staff, and he walks in and he says, "I believe it's time to get the prisoner back to his cell. We need to get more out of him, but he looks a little tired. Give him some food. Give him some drink. Empty his pail. And we'll take care of this again in the morning. We'll probe deeper tomorrow." And he looks at you, Dusk, as Tien. He says, "You better be prepared, because it's gonna hurt."
Hang my head, not really say anything.
And the two knights walk over and take the key, unlock him, and like kind of pick him up and kind of escort him, arm holding like that part of the shoulder, like clavicle area, like pushing.
I think Sarah just keeps to the shadows as the cat, and we'll kind of meld in because of that gray color, that gray blue
Sure.
color.
I'll let that
But
happen.
we'll keep to those shadows
Mhm.
and just follow.
And it's easy to follow because it's slow. Like he's shackled at the legs and the hands, so it's like a kind of a shimmy walk. And the chains are clinking, and it's a very slow walk. And before you leave, they put a black bag over your head, and you lose vision. You can't see where they're taking you.
Do you want me to do anything to try to remember the way?
If you telepathically something like that, I'm like, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to pause there. We're going to flash back to the agency. What are you guys doing?
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
I know,
So they're
right?
good at the jail, they say. They
For
haven't
now.
given any more information, right? Zara didn't say anything when they.
Not yet.
Oh gosh, darn it! God, I wish I was there. I have thoughts and feelings about what's happening there. So we probably need to go to where this little fella was from, right?
Right, but if it is a week's travel at the
trek.
least, then we will, one, be leaving our very capable friends behind for a week, which I don't think it'll take them that long to get out, and two, missing our opportunity, excuse my my language, but to punch the absolute shit out of Albert.
Yeah, that is all very true. That is all very true. And we certainly don't want to do that.
Earmuffs, lad.
However, let's see what we can do.
Unless you can get us there quickly.
I might be able to. Perhaps. I mean, I could do the same thing I did before and we could hope for the best. Dun 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 dun. Okay, that one I have to cast it twice. And I have to actually be in the place to cast it. Bum, 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 bum. We don't want to go to the shadow plane, I don't think. That sounds a little scary.
It's
So
I've been there a few times. It's fine.
It's the neighborhood.
we
In the neighborhood.
Shadow Plane Street.
Man.
we can try to teleport again. If we really want to get there, we can try.
If it helps, it's the second most reckless thing we've done today.
Yeah, that's an accurate assessment. Thank you, Kren. Thank you. Wow.
That needs to be a shirt. Anyway.
And it has to be spelled out in like eclairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. 100%.
And on the back of the shirt, it's Mom.
Mom!
I didn't even think about that. Well done, Corey.
Oh my god,
Right.
yes, please.
So good.
Oh, it's gonna be a moment to remember forever. First things first. Logistically, we can make sure that I don't know if we want to make sure that he stays in the office overnight. I can hold him up in my place. Whatever.
Another thought I had, possibly.
All right.
I'm afraid to leave a deserter who doesn't remember anything by himself. So, what if we disguised him?
You have that ability.
Kind of. I can shrink him and make him like half his size so he can be a child.
He already is a child.
He can be an extra child. He can be a child to me, not just to you. And he can be small, and we can dress him as a child. And I don't know how to be a mom, but I believe that Kren knows how to be a dad. So perhaps Kren can adopt this child, and this child will be with us to help us along the way, but no one will know. And Daddy Kren can parent. Everyone looks horrified at his idea.
I have a feeling that this is a backstory issue, is my guess.
Pardon. Sure.
Oh, that went easier than I thought it would.
I just looked. Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna. I believe it's called Stretch, our friend.
Reverse
So
stretch.
very Willy Wonka.
Right?
I'm on the rack.
Wonka vision. It's the press.
We're
Instead of
the
the rack,
Wonka.
it's the press.
So I can choose a nearby creature and cause them to instantly enlarge or shrink. It can grow up to twice its size or shrink up to half its size. And the weight decreases or increases proportionally, but the hit points don't change.
Hmm.
And I can't make it bigger than the space it's in.
Okay.
So
So you'd get, yeah, And I'll say for like, now here's the thing. It's shrink. It's, you can make him smaller, but he's going to retain the way he looks. His face isn't going to look like a child. It's going to look like him, just smaller.
Well,
Maybe he is a halfling now.
he would appear at least different. So oh gosh. Do we have any hair dye?
You know, I would like to offer some assistance here, but I actually just want to see where your mind takes this. And I light up my pipe.
This is the greatest shit on the planet.
I'm gonna figure out one of my things.
You're gonna
here.
have a 3-foot tall man baby.
Okay, yeah, we do. We have a 3-foot tall man baby. Now we have to disguise this 3-foot tall man baby. Are any of you experts in disguise?
I feel like that's Dusk's ability.
I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, he's in a cell right now.
Bless it.
I can make him feel better about his man-child state.
That might
Matter of
be
fact-
necessary soon.
As a matter of fact, Corey, specifically right on that note,
Yep.
I kind of put my hand on Tian's shoulder. It's like, I know this is a lot, but I can promise you one very small thing. You're going to sleep very well tonight. And I'm going to cast Ren's Delightful Dream on him.
Yeah. For the
And-
people at home, go ahead and explain what that is, because
I'd love to. So I whisper and wave my hand at a nearby creature, and the next time the creature falls asleep, they experience a deeply comforting dream. They wake up
Sweet.
feeling beloved and forget all their grudges for the next week.
Okay. Cool.
Because Kren has some kindness in him somewhere.
Sure.
I just look at Kren, I'm like, you let me turn him into a man baby when we could have just put him to sleep?
I didn't put him to sleep. I just made sure that when he goes to sleep, he has a good dream. Now, don't get me wrong, I could probably put him to sleep, but what's the fun in that? We gotta see how far you're willing to go, boss.
So what if he runs away before he has his good dream?
Oh, then we just kill him.
Well, hold on. I have kidnapped today. I cannot also kill.
Oh, that's the line.
Today it is. Yes, today that is the line.
Oh, tomorrow murder possible. Okay.
We'll see. You never know. You never know. Apparently, I just bust people out of jail cells and turn them into tiny man babies.
Varen will like literally like take a knee like because this person is like now
3'1". They are now 3'1".
literally less than half my height. Kneel down and go, I am sorry.
They just shake. He just shakes his head.
They could
And-
wear my broom as a wig and look like an animal.
I think
Oh, by the way, your broom has regrown all its strands. It's back.
Oh,
I
to
have a
full
long broom.
Thank
but
God.
it's the stiff bristle. They're not. It's not like a mop. They're stiff bristled. So that would be some funky ass looking hair.
We didn't say he was going to be a pretty child.
At this point, people are gonna think he's got like leprosy or something.
okay.
You've succeeded in making him stand out more than he would have had he not changed at all.
I was waiting for you to turn him into a dragonborn. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I really very much wanted to do that, to make him a tiny little dragon. But listen, I don't have any spells that do that. I don't think I have a disguise spell, which is a real bummerino, as they say.
as they say, as one says,
Yeah, what language is that? Is that Draconic?
easily.
So I can give them a Pegasus cloak, and give them a lot of illusory feathers.
Oh,
Or
feathers are always a good thing, boss. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, that's great.
we could go shopping really
I don't think
fast.
I've been ever more happy to be in a prison right now.
Because
What if we just give him a tiny cloak?
we just have to get him to my place. We don't need to worry about much after that.
Right, we give him a
I'm
tiny
worried
cloak and
about
go from there.
leaving him there. You all just want to leave this man baby. And if there's one thing I know about man babies, it's they cannot be left on their own.
What is
He's
that?
not actually a child. He just looks like one.
And he raises his hand and he says,
Yes, man baby.
I'm not going to go anywhere looking like this.
Are you sure?
You
Because
don't
listen,
have to. And he like takes the broom off his head and he's like, you don't have to worry. I don't want to be seen. Especially
As long as this effect lasts.
this.
It doesn't say, so I think it's forever until I change him back. I hope I don't die before I change him back. I thought about that.
Wow.
So
I
I'll
hope
just
I don't die. So permanent.
get me to his place and I will lay low as long as you need me to lay low.
Just a
Okay,
quick
but
walk
you're gonna
down the
stay
docks.
small. You're gonna stay a man baby until we're ready, because that guarantees you're not gonna go anywhere because you're too embarrassed.
I'm not going to go anywhere because I'm wanted.
And
Yeah.
a man baby, just to make me feel better.
A wanted
Okay.
man baby.
And a man baby.
Varen turns to him again. I'm sorry.
As this is actually an improvement. from
Why
where
don't
I
we get you
was.
to a safe place and we will go from there, yeah?
Thank you.
By the way, boss,
Huh?
I took a note, and I hand her Remember the note.
Uh-huh.
Hold it up.
What does this say?
It's just a stick figure that says Rem, and it says line, and you jumping over it.
I toss it. I toss this paper. This is just proof that you can fill out paperwork. Nothing more than that. I expect it all to be done in a timely manner from now on.
Oh, well, see, that was the first time in about 15 years, so happy anniversary.
Well, you didn't lose your knack for it, did ya?
Varen picks up the crumpled piece of paper and puts it in his outbox. Their outbox, sorry. Yeah.
Let's flash back to the prison.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
This is fantastic.
Dolby, it's so good.
So, in the prison, you've got Dusk as Tien in disguise, being escorted by 2 Knights of the Purple Dragon, with Zara in blue cat form, following at a careful distance. They make their various turns, and they go to a fairly... I mean, all the walls look like everything else, but the doors on these cells are all metal, no wood, and they've got several sliders that go into the door, and there's like a giant crank that you turn, and it sends pieces of steel up and down so that there's multiple points of contact to try to prevent it from getting out. And there's a little slot at the bottom that they can slide food under, and there's a window, bars that can be opened to pass the refuse pail back and forth. And there's also a slot in the middle that hands can go through to have the handcuffs taken off. They crank open the door, and they open it, and they don't push him in, but they gently escort him in, and they start to close the door.
I'm going to telepathically say to Sarah, I need you outside the cell.
Okay.
I think that she would have realized that.
Okay. Door closes, cranks go, things go. Zara, roll me a d20.
14.
Okay. Good to know. Okay.
Oh God.
So no, it's not bad. Door closes. They walk away. You've kind of like pressed up, kind of in some shadows, and you make your way to the front of the door, or wherever you want to go. I don't know.
I think it'd just be to the side.
Okay.
I will take out my needful key. I will unlock any things that are currently on me. I will.
You're free. Like inside, you have no manacles. You're completely.
From my blink pack, I will take out a long roll of paper. I will hold it up against the wall of the cell and cast blueprint so that I now have an entire layout of the entire building that I'm in.
God, I love
God,
the
I love your
spy so
shit.
much.
So good.
Wow.
So good.
And I am looking for the nearest exterior wall to where my cell is.
Your cell. So there's a wall behind the wall. So like your cell, it's completely. There's no windows except for on the door, but behind the wall that appears to be the back wall, there's like little walkway, and then there is another wall behind that is an exterior wall.
Okay. I'm gonna send to Sarah. I'm not sure if you can get into the cell, but I'm pretty sure I can get out from here. I don't think I'll need to come out the front. Are you able to get out of here on your own?
Or you could just open the thing in the door and I could climb through.
Can I open the slot from my side, or does that? Yeah.
They all open from the outside only.
Yeah. I don't know if your little cat paws can do that.
Can my cat paws do that? I don't think they can.
I mean, the bottom one is just a. It's like I'll let you roll for it. We'll go for it. You can try
Okay.
Pop it.
Bat it open.
to bat it open. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a cat
Try to
with
put
human
both
intelligence.
together, like.
But no opposable thumbs.
Right.
That's a 16.
Yeah. You can open the bottom, like you kind of put your paws together. You're sitting like a cat is sitting on its haunches, and you take your two front paws and you kind of press them together and like kind of lift and bounce.
Like my cat does when she's
Yeah.
playing with a toy like
Yep.
this. Yeah.
And you hit the slot, and you hear on the inside, Dusk, you hear like the metal scraping.
Mhm.
So you hear it clunk, and you're able to like put your hand out and keep it from falling back down.
Got it. Okay.
And
So
then
as soon as you're in,
cats
I'll
are
fall back
water.
down.
So just like
Yeah, you can.
True.
It's maybe 5 inches, 6 inches. So you're
yeah.
able to
That's
get
nothing.
through that.
yeah.
Was there anyone outside? Any guards? No.
And was there? I don't know. You
There
didn't
were
ask
no
Rachel.
guards. But when you look down the hallway at the very, very end, before you went in, you did see what appeared to be a red-robed gentleman with a shaved head walking the opposite direction.
And I think that she would just telepathically say there was some guy in a red robe with a shaved head walking the other way, probably some magic user.
Okay. Well, hopefully they're far enough away that they don't hear this. And I'm gonna take off my shadow cutter off my wrist, stretch it out so it's roughly me-sized, hold it against the wall, and like buzz a hole through the wall, which will instantly teleport the rock to another plane.
Do you want me in cat form or person form?
Stay in cat form for now,
Okay.
if you don't
Okay.
mind.
So now the back wall of the cell, there's a large hole. Somewhere in the shadow plane, there is a large cutout that has just landed. And now you have access to this little, like, it's not a tunnel, but it's what the guards use to be able to walk around the back of the cells and kind of check out stuff.
I'll pick Zara up and I'll put them through the hole and let me know what you see.
It's empty.
Through the hole, stretch the thing out again, and through to the outside world.
So yeah, you you look out, and you're on the second story at this point. So it's probably the way this is set up, 15 or 16 feet from the bottom of the hole to the ground.
I'll take out, because why not? I'm on a roll here. I'm going to take out my feather hook, and I'll throw my feather hook grappling hook to the ceiling, and it'll just float up to the roof. And then once it has a lock, I'll step out, and I'll just... Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put my shadow cloak on, so I'll turn invisible, except for my shadow, and then I'll drop to the ground. And I'll hold Zara under my cloak so that they also disappear.
Thanks.
All right.
That's the best.
All right.
You are on the backside of the lockup. You know pretty much where you are. You're in between the wall of the Citadel of the Purple Dragons and the lockup.
Artifice mask off. Back to dusk. I'll turn to Sarah, shall we?
Yeah. I'm going to get a little more comfortable.
Go for it.
And then just turn back into Sarah.
So, do you think the rest of the group was as effective and efficient as we just were?
I feel so called out.
I mean, it depends on who's in charge.
So no, then.
Oh, wait till they see the man, baby.
What a line.
I think you just get a giggle from Sarah, and we best go find out, right?
Lead the way.
All right. So you guys head back to the agency. Go in. Your half-elf friend doesn't even acknowledge you when you walk through. Just head down, reading a book.
Always say hi.
Hand goes up. You guys go back down your hallway. At the end, the bricks start to glisten and disappear into an opening, and then the stairs go down. You go down your stairs, and there at the bottom are Varen, Kren, Remrem, and Tien.
I can't.
That pause.
I think Sarah just stops and is like, "Nope, you were right. What happened to the?"
Ram
He's
shrunk
gonna be
him.
a child. So he was going to be disguised as a child.
He doesn't look like a child.
Well, we realized that after we shrunk him. So now he's just a man baby.
Can you undo this, Ram?
I will undo it when I know that he hasn't run away.
I walk over to I walk over to the carafe and I just go, whiskey.
Yeah.
He's not gonna run away.
And
He's
the
wanted.
carafe.
He's a deserter.
The carafe is it's if it could acknowledge you, it would acknowledge
yeah.
you. Like, oh, I know you need this.
No.
It
I'll
it,
polish
Like
it a
almost
little
like
bit.
almost like
Makes-
it didn't even need to ask.
No.
it
makes it
turns
a double,
into a
automatically.
nice
Double
whiskey.
automatic.
It's good whiskey.
An automatic double.
As you're in front of the carafe, dusk, you'll just hear a familiar kind of shout of, "Oh, that's not even close to your personal record. Are you getting old in your old age?"
Yes, but also, usually we have time to plan these things.
He also had to take care of me.
No. Sarah was there for my safety. And look, I'm safe.
Did they hurt
So-
you?
Only in the heart, brother.
Always.
So yeah, good news. They won't suspect us. Bad news, you're now a deserter and a jailbreaker. Sorry about that. Oh, and a man baby.
But you're neither of those two things as long as you're a man, baby.
And he just kind of
It's a good give and
I'm
take. I think.
sorry.
he looks at each.
Question: how many times has Varin apologized?
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's a
just
counter.
few.
Not
And
enough.
Correct.
You don't have to apologize for other people's mistakes. I thought we were working on this.
Mistake. Hold on, Sarah. I believe that this man baby is a beautiful creature.
Could you
and
please
far
just
from
call
a
me
mistake.
Can we-
Tien? My name is Tien. I don't.
You
Please
know,
don't call me
it's-
man, baby.
Tien, how about you come? Tien, do you like plants?
Sure.
How about you come over here for a bit?
Okay.
And Sarah's just going to try to distract Tien from his horrible circumstances at this moment by showing him her plants
And
in a very kind and animated way.
he before he goes there, he grabs the carafe and he pours himself some of the whiskey out of it.
Are you old enough for that?
Not anymore.
and he looks up at you.
Which
And
is
he
funny
looks
'cause
back
I'm
at
like
the
5'2".
Right. Well, he's 3'1" now. So he looks back up at you. He takes the drink, and he just puts it out in front of you, empty. Shakes his head, and then goes back to your desk. Sarah, can we just get this over with, please? Like, can you figure it out so I can just go back to being me?
Yeah.
Or like, can you put me
Yes.
back in prison? Because
That would defeat the purpose of
at
this
least
whole
they didn't
trip.
change me there. And like, I get that you were trying to help me, but like, whew.
Oh, don't worry. The emotional baggage takes place over time. You're just not there yet.
Would you rather have an emotional support animal right now?
I want to have an emotional support in my body.
Ram, can you please let him go back? Please.
I
For his
would.
he won't run away. And
I'm
if
not
he does,
going to
I
go anywhere. Everyone is
he
looking for
decide-
me, especially now.
if he decides to run away, I will bring hellfire upon his head. All right? There. Are you happy?
Hey,
Wait,
Ram
what?
Ram,
If
I'm
you
not
decide to
going
run away-
anywhere.
Exactly.
the
That's what I'm
second-
saying.
That's only the second time you're
Hey,
there.
Ram,
Ram,
please change
Can we,
back.
boss, can we have a moment? Can you and I, can we just have a talk for just a minute?
Okay. Yes, Sarah.
Like just us, without.
Okay, we can go to my. I don't want my eyes off of.
I will keep an eye on
Varin
him.
will
yes?
keep an eye on him. I promise.
And you.
I'll
won't
keep an
kidnap
eye on
him?
them.
Why
and
would I
Gus will keep
kidnap
an
him?
eye
I would-
on me.
I will not.
Have you? I know you don't know Varin very well, but I promise on my life
Remember's
that
under a
Varin
lot
will
of stress.
uphold the law.
Let
and
me
your
say,
duty.
let me say this. Whether or not this means anything to you, I vow to not let him run away. Yeah.
Okay, if you say that, I trust that from you. From Dusk? From you? Yes.
All right. Go have your talk, please.
Okay, we go to my office.
Okay, so Sarah just goes in and then she kind of shuts the door behind them and is like, "Okay, so I know you're new and you're trying to assert your dominance over the office, and that's important. Like all animals do that. It's very, very important to like assert like your lead in the group. But I don't think it's working very well for you right now, and I'm just trying to give you some advice that maybe from the least dominant person in the group might be taking the best."
Okay, listen. I don't even need dominance. I just need a deserter to not desert. I don't know why everyone.
I'm just talking about
trusts him
overall
so
group
much.
relations that are not good right now.
Oh, I
I
think
don't know
they're
if you
pretty
know it-
okay.
Yeah, okay. So, I have to tell them to be nice to you every day.
Yeah, I hear it.
Um,
Do you know why they put me with them?
no.
Oh, it's because I can handle the cranky old people.
Yeah, but they think that you're just mean. And so they're mean back. And I don't.
Is it that they think I'm mean and they're mean back, or are they just a little bit crabby?
Yes, but also, can we try to get along, please? Can we just try to get along?
Well, I think that we're all friends here, Zara. I don't see any of these problems that you're talking. I will take note of them. I will put them in my
Please.
clipboard.
Okay.
But
I don't know if you've ever been not in control of your own life and a prisoner in a place that you had no control over. But can you please turn Tien back into Tien, because it's not a good place to be, and you wouldn't like it if it happened to you.
she thinks about this for a minute. I agree that would be bad. I'm just concerned. And the original thought behind it wasn't it was to disguise him for his own safety.
Have you had anybody take away your agency before and turn you into something you weren't?
Yes, I have. And that's bad. That's bad. So I will turn him back. But he can't go anywhere. He has to. He does have to be. He can't go, or we're all going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think he will. Also, if he does, Varn will bring down the tempests of heaven upon him and kill him.
Yeah, I don't want to murder him though.
Well, but he'll bring it upon his own head, so it's his fault. And Sarah will just stand up and leave.
Zara, have you ever had somebody blame you for something bad that happened? It wasn't your fault, because maybe it wouldn't feel so good.
No, I don't think I've had that happen to me before. It actually was my fault. Like literally, as they're leaving. No, I don't think that's actually happened to me before, because it was my fault as they're leaving.
Oh no!
Story.
I'm sorry, Sam. I'm so sorry.
Zara,
I'm sorry, Sam.
oh no!
Fault. That's the problem. It's your fault.
It was my fault.
Oh no! Ugh. So Rem, from her office, without even coming out, cast the spell to make him big again.
Yeah, so you just dispel it, and he goes back to 6'2", and he just this deep sigh. Oh,
You hungry?
no, and he grabs another drink and he just throws it back.
Dusk will catch Rem's eye and will, like, in his fingers, wiggle a little black tag about yay big. And so you see it, and then I'm just gonna get up and I'm gonna walk behind Tien, and I'm just gonna pat him on the neck and cheers him with my glass and throw it down, and then I'll turn back to Rem and wink.
Rem immediately feels relieved.
All right.
And just immediate relief.
While this relief is washing over you, Kaya comes down the steps.
Ah, fuck.
Says, the person you wanted is in the place you wanted them.
That was quick. Nicely done.
And they just nonchalantly turn around and go back up the stairs. Extremely
Awesome.
gracefully, however. Very gracefully.
I'm gonna need that magic rope, I think.
To the spicy icy.
Okay. We will get that magic rope. I put in the paperwork. Is the agency gonna give me a rope, or do I need to come up with one?
They're gonna give you one.
Okay, excellent.
Like, you can put in requisitions for stuff. Like, you have some leeway with it.
I have a budget.
Yes.
Right. Well, then I'll expect a replacement for this one, and I'll take out mine. So are we bringing this one to the spicy?
No need.
I don't know that we. Oh gosh. Think we can just let him stay here with his carafe of whiskey.
Kaya,
You'll be good and passed out by then anyway, won't you, lad? That's what I thought.
Have nice dreams.
Nothing to worry about.
I'll kick open the bottom drawer of my desk and I'll take out a bedroll and a pillow that I keep in the thing and I'll roll it out under my desk. And I'll look over at Rem and I'll say, for cat naps. And I'll just walk out of the office.
Wisdom saving throw.
Is it? Oh my god. Rem feels truly bonded with Dusk right now.
So good. I love it.
Didn't take that one the way it was intended.
I don't
He
think
called
Zara
himself
says
a
much.
cat.
I don't think Zara says much, but we'll literally just walk up to wherever Varn is and kind of just lean against them and not say anything.
And Varn will just kind of like arm around, Sarah to let them just lean in and get that comfort.
All right.
Are you doing okay?
Mm.
Okay. I know you don't like it when people have conflict like this, so I try to stay calm.
Thank you.
But if you want me to get angry, I will.
I'll let you know.
You let me know.
Walking next to Crenbris on the way out, Dusk will lean over and say, I know everyone was like kind of stressed today, but I have to tell you, this is like the most fun I've had at work in like 15 years.
There's like a heavy sigh. I didn't want to say it. I needed you to say it first.
Right? And honestly, I know they seem to be like having some trouble adapting, but this is also like the most supported I've felt in the workplace in a really long time.
Nice that to not have to carry the full weight
Of like the whole city on your backs, right? Like you feel like you got some.
I mean, I'm
support.
42. Like my.
Do you think they don't realize? Like they realize the reason we don't do paperwork is because we never have freaking time to do paperwork.
5-hour work weeks.
Oh, I love you, man. Let's go get some peppercorn ices.
Oh, let's so do that.
The spicy icy.
Have we ever considered utilizing that as an interrogation tactic? Like, just like shove it down like Albert's throat.
I mean,
You see,
we could.
you see Tien look around like, what the fuck?
God, he was there.
Quite drunk too.
I just got legitimately lightheaded. Jacob did.
When you forget that the NPCs are listening still.
God damn it.
He's right there.
He's like 15 sheets to win. He had half that whiskey when he was 3'1". He's
Fuck.
barely
Yeah,
conscious right
he's
now.
Like not.
Yeah.
He is now curled up on your bedroll in the fetal position.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh,
that's
buddy.
hilarious.
Oh, buddy.
All right.
I'll admit though, I'm gonna have to blow off some steam here a little later on.
Yeah. Family talk.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, let me know if you need me to make some excuses.
No, I can hold it in for a little longer. I just don't want it to really come out too early.
I got you.
Besides, that's what holes in walls are for.
Yeah. You punch them and then I hide things in them.
Very good.
Yeah, I really should consider making like an art collection of the one in my bedroom, which is a collection of fist-sized holes with a guitar-sized one like around it, kind of just like a sandwich.
I still cannot believe you did that to Oliver. That was like your favorite guitar.
Magic comes with the cost, my friend.
It's true. I look behind, like, is everyone else rolling out?
Yeah,
Okay.
at this point, probably. At least Varn would be.
So yeah, you're making your way up and out and over to the spicy icy, and it takes maybe 10 minutes of walking to get there, and it's. Let me switch back here so you guys can see. So you guys are here at the agency. It's gonna be, I think, yeah, it's gonna be right up next to this building right here. It's number 39. That is called Bindle's Club. So it's gonna be right next door to Bindle's Club. And just so you know, it basically nobles used to go to Bindle's Club. They no longer go there. Basically, it's just merchants and like common people that go there to finalize some negotiations. It's not too far from some of the coster yards, like over here where some of the like warehousing and the companies have their things. So they come to this little place to do that. And Spicy Icy decided to set up because they wanted, to try to get some of that after drink shaved ice business. Nothing calms down a hangover like, some peppercorn shaved ice.
True.
Yep. So you go there, and you guys know that this dusk, the way in. There's a secret door in the back that you can get up top above it.
Do we want to stop for ices before we go up, or you guys just want to go up?
It's an absolute
After.
requirement.
Can we get it after?
We'll try them,
Right.
but later.
Okay, sure. Well,
Because that sounds amazing. And I really want to try one, but after.
okay. Crenbris, why don't you go up first? Jericho knows you. I'll bring up the rear, and I'll open the door up for everyone else to pass in.
I would just like it to be noted for whoever's writing things down that I'm disagreeing and committing to the current plan.
Got it.
So you guys.
Specifically, not getting ices till later.
Yes.
Yes.
And I walk upstairs.
Had like a
Like,
moment where I
like,
was like,
oh.
oh no, do we need to like reconvene as like a little agency? Like,
No,
Are there
no.
any-
I'd literally just written down, get ices after, and just added Crenbris disagrees.
Are there any blockers? Like, what's going on? No.
I gotta get it now.
Is this sprint going to go okay?
Who's the first one
That's a
up?
project management joke.
Yep.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you
Varn?
had? Okay.
Varn's up.
Unless
Okay.
someone else wants to.
Oh, I was going up, but I'm good with what
No,
I
no,
got.
if any,
Knows.
that's fine. If you want to go up first too, go first. That's no problem. I'm just eager. So, but
I'm right behind Varin.
All right, so Varn is first up. The staircase to go up is it's very narrow. It's barely wide enough for you, Varen. You're like shoulders kind of shrugged in, hunched over, kind of tucking your head under some of the like entryway and stuff like that. And you get to the top and you open the door, and in it, it's basically an empty room with one chair, and tied to the chair with a burlap sack on their head is a person. And kind of pacing back and forth behind them is another person that you recognize, Dusk, as Cherico. If you would like to describe Cherico, you are more than welcome to describe Cherico.
Sure. Cherico is a large gnome. So standing like 5 foot tall gnome. Pretty jacked, like very, very wide and bulky, carrying like all manners of implements. He's got like almost like a leather smock on, and there's like little hooks and like screwdrivers, and he's just got like a lot of tools on him. Not necessarily for torture, just like for getting into places quickly. And then you kind of see like wrapped around one of his forearms is just like a length of chain that he sometimes uses to hit people with, and other times uses to get them.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, Cherico is pacing back and forth, and he's playing with that chain on his wrist. He's just like thumb and finger kind of rubbing it. He shakes his wrist every once in a while, and you see the person under the chair like shake every time they hear that chain rattle. You do see the person underneath it was wearing a light colored shirt, and you do see that there are blood stains kind of down like right the neck, you presume somewhere from the face running down.
I look over at Zara and Vara, and I said, "Can you confirm this is our prey?"
Didn't hear you, Kate.
Oh, I wasn't close enough. I think Sarah would put their arm on Varn's, their hand on Varn's arm. Check it first.
Did we ever see Albert in any of okay, so
I think you're gonna do your gaze thing. Or
yes,
whatever, but, like,
yes. I can, but really that only tells me though is what their ideal and flaw is. So I might instead,
We
where
could
is-
ask. I don't mind asking.
Right. I did have another thought though, and now I can't remember what it is.
Well, I'll get to give you.
I was gonna say, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
go
I can
ahead,
kick
go
it
ahead.
off.
That's fine.
I can kick it off.
Um,
Unless you want to, Smitty.
I was just gonna walk over to Cherico and like take the magic rope off my arm and say, "Payment as soon as we verify, as usual." Where'd
just shakes his
you
head.
get him?
Around.
Can't hear you, Corey.
can't hear you, Corey.
Oh, sorry. And Cherico goes, I picked him up, here and there, down by the docks.
Docs. He's in town.
Docks. I
Any
guess
trouble?
it was. Nah. I got him.
Struggle.
He's weak.
Kind of.
He thinks he's tough, but he's not so tough.
Anybody see you?
No. Look who you're talking to. No.
I know. I gotta ask.
No. Come on. Give me the rope.
I look over at Varen. It's
To-
I
not
don't have
us.
an idea. I do, but
To confirm what okay, I'll just use compel truth then. So I do have to gaze into the creature's eyes though. So I will I'll actually do two things just to be scary as hell. Varn will go up, and as they're walking over, draw the long sword out of that they hold out of their sheath, and it is just a midnight black blade. As they're walking over, just say, "Hemvilfold," and it wreathes in flame, just like using Fiery Avenger to have that now fire go up, pull the bag off of feasibly Albert's head, and my eyes ignite in blue flame. And I will roll on this, but looking into his eyes, I will say, "What is your name?" And rolling, we'll see if he answers truthfully. 17. The target is compelled to truthfully answer 3 questions.
Okay.
So that is 1.
So, even before you pull the bag off, the heat coming off the sword, he can see the fire through the burlap, and is already starting to like reel back as far as he can in this chair. And then when you rip it off and it's like right up in there and he's just, Albert Otranto! Albert Otranto!
I throw
Albert!
The rope
Albert Otranto!
I throw the rope to Cherico and I just say, "Go now."
I suggest you continue to answer truthfully.
Wide-eyed, just fear coming out of him, and like blood mixing with tears and sweat, and like you're pretty sure he's urinated at this point. It's the fear has consumed his body.
After that, Varn will take 2 or 3 steps back, still obviously within range should something go wrong, but then just motion to Sarah.
What was the guy's name who is dead?
Terrence.
Terrence. Why did you kill Terrence?
I was paid to. I mean, how deep do these questions have to go?
I don't. Sarah's just
Sure.
looking at
Go
him
ahead,
like.
Because I don't know
not
if it's
asking
like
another question.
I don't know if it's specific, like if he has to answer more or.
It has to be 3 paragraphs long each.
No, but
No,
even
no.
Sarah knows that there are limits to this,
Sure.
and so is going
Okay.
to be like, but isn't asking that as a question more like
Trying to get the more
Sure, I
information
see
without
what-
asking
okay.
another
without
question.
asking the question?
Okay.
Yes.
And he looks back over to Varen, and he looks back at you, Zara.
Trust me, you want to talk to me.
My employer wanted him dead.
I put my hand on his shoulder, and I just kind of dig in just a little bit,
He flinches
Just so-
down.
just so he kind of understands he's, I don't say anything in particular, but I'm actually going to use an action point to cast impression, which will allow me to feel his. It sounds really weird to say, but feeling his desires. The guide chooses and reveals to you something specific that the creature routinely craves. I become cursed to also crave that thing. Cannot use impression again until I fulfill it. But information. is okay.
So you put your hand on his shoulder, and you feel this sensation run up from your chest, down your arm, through your fingertips, and into your fingers as they pull and like kind of turn into his clavicle, and he winces down, and rushing into you suddenly is just pure escape. He wants to be gone.
I'll say this,
And it's not just
Go
like
ahead.
and it's not just like a sense of this moment, it's in general.
Oh, it's like in general.
Yeah. Like this moment too, but also there's a deeper sense of not wanting to be.
Almost as if he like responded audibly. I'll like as a response to that, I'll just say, I've been there, but there's no
I
escaping
think-
this.
The third question. Do you beat your wife?
And he looks down. I don't mean to. And he starts crying again. Red Rivulets of blood and tears are just running down into his shirt. It's just soaked around the neck.
Who's your employer?
I mean, I might as well tell you. They'll kill me, you'll kill me. It doesn't matter. The Seven Sons Trading Company. He starts coughing.
Are you sick?
No, it's like that phlegmy blood draining down the back of his neck.
gross.
Yeah, like the ugh.
Yeah.
So quick clarification point, like that's his regular employer. Is he implying that this is also the person that
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll follow up then. Motion to strike now. I watch way too much Law and Order.
Dun, dun, dun.
I've been practicing. How many employees do you have, Albert?
One?
Just one. Interesting.
Why did they want Terrence dead?
I don't know. They just told me they'd pay me a lot of money to make him go away.
And what'd you do with the money, Albert? What'd you do with the money?
I gambled it.
Huh.
You take a man's life, and the money that you get, you give away.
I mean, I was trying to make more. I was trying to...
Yeah.
That house isn't cheap. I was trying to provide for Jacinta and the kids, and we went in over our head when we did it, so I was just trying to make more money to keep a roof over their head. Spits.
The more and more Sarah gets upset, the brighter that flame is growing on Varen's sword. And it is getting to the point where I know that like saving throws and the like aren't a thing here, but he is very willfully holding himself back right now to not just I feel like this is like a one more strike and something's gonna happen situation.
You're not worth it.
I know. I'm a piece of shit. I know what I am.
Boss, what do you want to do?
I think that he's awful. I think that he would probably deserve it. But I don't think that we can be the ones to do that or determine that.
I heartily disagree.
I know. And I feel it. And I see it, quite literally, on your glowy mabob. But listen, this is why we have a system. This is why we do this. We've already done a lot of chaotic stuff today. I don't know that murdering this man is something that we can do and feel okay with ourselves. I think we'll feel good when we do it. And then I think we'll feel very, very bad.
Speak for yourself.
I think that we'll be right next door to where he'll be kept. And we can visit him, perhaps, on our off time.
I think Sarah, in this moment, will step in front of Varen in between and say, he's dead, and we can't make him pay forever.
Plus, it's what he wants anyway. And we don't want to give him what he wants. A permanent escape that you want, Albert? The unfortunate news is you're not getting off that easy.
If you don't do it, they will.
Not if we keep you protected.
Not if you run away.
spits a just large globule of blood.
Would
and-
I be correct just as a thought that he would be considered a commoner?
Yeah. A commoner who's trying to improve his station through really not great means.
Not great means.
Yes, and let me re-clarify my question. Commoner as within the system for what
Oh,
type of
yes.
creature it affects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do the thing.
What are we doing?
I don't know if that was Alex or Rem.
Yes. Yes.
Both, actually.
I
Do
just
the
felt-
fucking thing.
Oh man. Okay. So there's something that I could do just to get him out of our hair. Or let me think here for a moment.
Come on. Come on, just
I know.
make it. No, this is him talking. Come on, just
Oh,
do
he's
it.
goading
Just
me?
do it.
Shut up.
Just
I
do
punched
it.
him in the face. I
Lauren.
punch him.
Lauren.
Oh, I yeah,
him
no, I
one.
think I'm gonna give into my flaw at this point, and I just turn around and I'm going to use thunderous word, just like yelling back at him, Tundra! And a thunderous shockwave just like pushes out at him, knocking him backwards for 2 damage.
He's unconscious.
I'm in between you. Does it hurt me?
Oh yeah, you'll take.
I would have stepped around you.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I would
kind
not.
of-
You push her to the side,
Yeah, yeah.
and you just.
Yeah. Yes.
I would
And-
like to take it as well if I can, just from a storytelling aspect. It just
Yeah, like I would have pushed Sarah out of the way just because they were
Okay.
right there. But if
Yeah.
you were closer,
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
you were behind him.
I was trying to save you from yourself, and I was like, just to shut him
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah.
up. Oh, I love it.
and
like-
it does affect up to 3 creatures. Let me
Perfect.
check to see on this. Knocks up to 3 creatures backwards, hitting them each for 2 damage. Creatures affected by the spell are briefly dazed.
So,
Ever-
Kren.
What were you saying, Smitty?
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
just
Smitty.
real quickly, like from the moment Varen's eyes went blue flame, and then like completely culminated when he answered yes, like about beating his wife. Dusk just moved to the corner,
Yep.
took out a bucket and a mop and threw like a roll of burlap over his shoulder, and he's just like leaning on the mop, just waiting to see how the situation plays out.
So yeah,
Does not surprise me.
Varen, you push Zara out of the way. Rem, I'm guessing you're not. You're kind of back too, aren't you? You're not going to take any of this, are you?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think you're. I don't think you're
Zara got
between them.
Between us.
No, I got between Albert
And
and
Varen. Yeah, I don't
Varen.
think you're affected by this.
Because I think you were
Okay.
behind us. We
And
were
I
up
was close.
talking to him, and you were behind us. And
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Kren,
yeah.
Kren had put his hand on his shoulder and
I
then
got it.
and then started to move toward Varen. So when Varen does this, Albert in the chair gets pushed into Kren, thrown completely against the wall of the building. You see, like, dust come down. The chair kind of breaks. You see Albert's limp body laying, like, kind of twisted and a little discombobulated, slightly unnaturally. In terms of it doesn't look like he would have gotten into that position on his own. Not anything supernatural or anything like that. And then, like, from the rubble behind them is Kren, like, kind of underneath the chair, dazed. Albert is now unconscious.
I think Zara is more concerned with Varen and just like grabs them like around the back. It doesn't say anything.
When I see that Zara is doing that and kind of taking care of them, I run over to Kren to see if he's okay.
After a moment, I kind of like slump, like to like kind of seated. I don't actually like get up. I'm still like seated up against the wall, with trench coat kind of over, kind of probably splayed everywhere. I had it. I had it. We had a plan. And I'm just like I'm like starting to like visibly like shake, and there's a especially Remrem. My yellow reptilian eyes are starting to go a little bit, like the kind of the irises are kind of going a little bit, little more focused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as he's beginning to shake with a very, at least to him, familiar rage. Um, that's it.
So as I see him starting to kind of build up in this shaking and surgery, I'm trying to talk him down. I'm trying to tell him that it's going to be okay, that we're going to figure this out. We just all need to remain calm. Being uncalm is what got us into this situation in the first place, and we have to keep our bearings about us if we're going to work. We have to work as a team, and we have to work together. Otherwise, it isn't going to work, okay? But we're gonna make this work. I promise. I promise. We just have to keep it together a little bit longer.
Tusk is watching to see, like the entire time Remrem's speaking to Kren, he's watching to see if her words are having any effect on Kren, either one way or the other.
How long do you expect to last in this job, boss?
As long as I need to. As long as I'm needed here.
It's not trending upwards. And I get up.
Kren, you need to take a walk.
He just lights his pipe, gives you a look, and skedaddles.
Zara.
Karen, I need you.
You muted.
Sorry. Just a few deep breaths. Drop their sword, and just before it hits the ground, it extinguishes. And will just turn to Sarah and look them in the eyes, and as I meet your gaze, the flames lower.
And honestly, Sarah will just throw their arms around you and just be like, I know.
And just like the biggest fearbulk hug. But lots of, just no words at that point.
Tusk looks over at Remrem, and he now has his hilt in one hand, no blade in it yet. And then in the other, he's got a pair of shackles. And blade extends. Your call, boss.
Can't hear you, Alex.
Shackles.
Blade disappears, walks over, shackles him, takes a sigh, throws him over her shoulder. Says, I think y'all should get some ice. And I'm going to start walking down the steps with Albert over my shoulder.
Real quick, when you throw him over your shoulder, anybody who happens to be looking at that, when he does and kind of flips him up, part of his shirt at this point has torn, and over his heart, you see a brand of 7 dots.
Oh, I hate them. Oh, I don't like.
Looks like a stick figure with the head to the left, or to their left, their arm out that way. So you're right as you would look. And let's end it right there.
I don't like.
I'll just say for Dusk, as you walk outside, there's a broken guitar.
Oh.
Whew. Well, y'all.
Remember when that was silly? I love you, Alex. I'm sorry. Love all y'all. This is great. Holy fuck.
I almost used a thing to make Varen not be able to do their spell.
That would have been amazing. Do you have no?
Uh-huh.
You should have. You could have known.
I was going to.
Next time.
But then I was like, no, we'll let this play out because we need lessons in anger management.
Yes, they do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? We don't have 2 characters with the flaw of wrathful. What?
I don't have the flaw. I don't have the
fact-
flaw of people pleasing. No, that's not my flaw at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
The funny thing about it to me is what I didn't expect was for it to reveal itself as a escalation between the two of them. I figured it would just be 2 volcanoes erupting.
Yes.
But like,
yes.
What I was kind of hinting at was like it was like boop, 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 and you just wait for it, which I love. And so, oh boy, I have like chills. Like I'm so fucking stoked.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's say our goodbyes, and we can go. So, Zan, if you want to start.
Can do. Hi, I'm Zan. You can find me at Covered N Sawdust on Twitter if you'd like to find me there. Things that I do other than this gloriously wonderful game. I GM a Numenera actual play podcast called Imprinted Echoes. It is a ridiculous foray into the world 1 billion years in the future. Lots of puns, lots of fun. Come listen, and it's a good time. And something I forgot to plug last time, I also make dice trays over at Farrier Game Forge. You can find me there on Etsy if you are interested in having some cool dice accessories.
I have one. They're gorgeous.
Thank you. And that's me.
All right, Jacob.
Yo, hey everybody. Whew. Bring in the heart rate down. What's up, everybody? My name is Jacob Duval, King Jacob on the internet. For many things, you can find me over at Linktree, Duval King Jacob, where I do a lot of different things. Probably too much, one could argue. We just announced that we're starting a new thing, as I'm a co-founder for a little thing called the Amphitheater, where we were taking our Pawns of Prometheus 5e campaign and premiering it there tomorrow at, I think it was 9:30 Eastern time, Smitty? I never remember our start time. Something like that. And alongside, this Blaze in the Dark game I'm in on Savior's channel. And of course, I'm the host and DM for a little show called Duval and Dragons every other Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But also something that's particularly cool about this week is Saturday on Paradise RPG Twitch channel. I'm running a one-shot at 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a good time. And it actually can possibly affect the very next day, which is pretty wild. So come check that out.
Cool. Alex.
Hi everybody, I'm Alex. You can find me at Stinkrat Streams on Twitter. You can find me here as the Stinkies. It is my co-channel with my partner. I have no brand continuity. So on Instagram, you can find me at Syncret Streams for my regular one, but you can also find me at Chronic Stitch Witch Creations, which is where I hold monthly, except for the month of, I think I'm going to skip April because of medical stuff. But other than that, I'm doing monthly art shows there where I'm featuring different artists and everything like that. So if you make things and you want to put the things that you make in the show, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I have a few slots open for March. The theme is iconic. So it's pretty broad. I think it's like kind of cool. You can interpret it any way you want. I'm pretty loosey-goosey with it. So yeah, Kate's going to be in that one. Corey was in the last one. And I have one coming up. I'm going to start featuring the artists, I think, this week. And then at the end of this month, we're going to have the show on Twitch and then Instagram and Twitter because I like to do too many things. Yeah, other than that, I think that's all the places you can find me. And then here. Yay!
Smitty.
You can find me at PB Smitty on the interwebs, most places, but mostly on Twitter. And yeah, as Jacob mentioned, I'm one of the co-founders of the Amphitheater, and we will be kicking off that Pawns of Prometheus game tomorrow at 9:30, where my monk Ramed Haveline has just gotten his ass handed to him and is almost dead while the rest of the party didn't do anything because he was in a different room.
We were looking at art. No fucking joke.
It was my fault, but that's okay.
No.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for right now. Hoping to stock up my slate with a little bit of a charity gaming over the next couple of months, so stay tuned for some info on that.
And last but certainly not least, Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. I go by me in midair pretty much everywhere on the internets and Discord. And you can find me here tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, because that's what I go in. I'm sorry, it's easiest for me for the Star Trek game, the USS Norman Borlaug, where I play Captain Luke Moreno. I have to remember my name too. I have too many things that I do. But the big thing that's happening this week, my friends, is that this Saturday, All Nerds Here, twitch.tv/allnerdshere is kicking off our season 3 with a charity stream on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific time. We are playing 3 games and we are culminating at, I think it's 7 p.m. Pacific. It might be 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I can't remember. I have to go look at it again. But with a PWN Indies stream, which PWN meets the All Disasters Here crew, you all, the group from our Wednesday night game will be in the PWN. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be lit. And we're raising money for Oasis, Texas. So come check us out. If you can drop in, retweet our stuff, and check us out. And if you want to find me, you can find me at linktr.ee/meinmidair.
Cool. And I'm Corey. I am the guide here in Quest.
Masterful job, sir.
Thank you. You can find me at @DNDiapers_ on Twitter. I too have no brand continuity, so you just look me up on Twitter. And right now, this is aside from a private game that may someday make it to podcast. I don't know. There's some weird legalities that might come up from one of the players because of who they're employed by. Jacob also plays in that game. We'll see where that goes, but other than that, I've got a podcast I'm kind of tying into this game. It's Vice and Villainy. You can find it anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and I'll be dropping some stuff in and out from this game, some hooks into there that the players may end up choosing to go down those various roads. So thank you everybody for sharing with us tonight and joining with us tonight, and let's go launch a raid and we'll see what's going on. I think we're going to go raid Soul Bear, and they're playing Vampire, so we'll see what they're all about. And all right.
It's a good game.
In the meantime, Moms and Wilds for everybody.
Yes. In donut form.
Wow.
Yeah.